This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. Guys, JList has been supporting the podcast ever since I came back from Japan like 5 years ago or so, and they've been a great sponsor of ours. For the entire time, we've done snack boxes. We've had Peter Payne on the podcast several times, more than several probably. They've contributed a lot of financial support. We've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of giveaways, and but despite all that, we have decided that we will be ending the sponsorship with JList at the end of August, which, by the way, is right now. We're all pretty sure, JList and ourselves, we all know that you guys know that JList is there and that they carry a lot of great products for you and that they are your friend in Japan. So we expect that you'll be checking out JList from time to time to satisfy all of your anime shopping needs, and we hope that you'll continue to check out their site, just how you'll continue to listen to this podcast even after our sponsorship ends. That being said, now that JList is not a sponsor of the podcast anymore, we do need financial support from our fans, and so we would like you to take advantage of all the extra offerings we have for you. Our Hobby Addicts, we just talked about Stranger Things and Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Beat Saber, all kinds of fun stuff on the Hobby Addicts. We do our hentai episodes and our after parties as well. So head over to aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon. You can get all that extra content by supporting the podcast, and we will make sure that together we can make your anime addiction worse for many years to come. And with that said, now it's time to start the podcast.
来てくれてありがとう. You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at aaapodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome to episode 539 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast.
It never ends!
I am Mandi. I am one host of 3 today, and we're here to dedicate it to make your anime addiction worse. So today we have Mason. Hello. Welcome.
Hello, that's me. Glad to be here. You know, started off a little rough today, but I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling excited, ready to go.
Yeah, I was really far behind, and now I'm like trying to fix my cameras on Twitch and everything so I can see the notes and the cameras at the same time.
We need to get you 2 monitors.
We do, desperately. We also have Mitsugi. Hello, welcome. Oh, we have a new monster.
Oh, it's ice. It's ice cold. I'm on this pink monster train. I've been drinking this. The pink monster tastes like pink Starburst, and I'm loving that. And so we're just gonna keep drinking Pink Monster, guys. Glad to be here. We have a, in a week where we didn't have a whole lot of news, we sure made a packed outline. So strap yourselves in.
Yeah, we did. So before we start, we would like you to go to aaapodcast.com/join to create an account if you would like to get our bonus content, which we mentioned when we started the show. So you can get like hentai episodes.
Do it.
Yes. You can get hentai episodes, which we'll be doing today. Our Hobby Addicts, where we talk about just random stuff, usually video games. And we also have our after parties, where we just talk about random stuff in our lives. And you can also subscribe to us on Twitch, follow us so that you get updates on when we are streaming live every Sunday, and join our Facebook group. I know you guys exist now. I know you guys still exist. Facebook.com/groups/AAA podcast. And there, and also on Twitter, Caroline keeps you updated on everything that we have going on in our community. Fan Art Friday and all kinds of stuff. And you can
also... Get it? Oh.
Nope, you're not going to get me.
No,
You're not going to get me. I'm not going to do it.
I don't get it. Help. What?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry.
What a spring chick 22-year-old person we have in this chat.
I am 22 now. Hello.
Oh my god! Oh, if only that would be great. I'd love that.
I love it. When it was my birthday, somebody jokingly said that I was 22, and then it just kind of caught on. Now I'm 22 again. So, hi guys.
Forever.
No, the joke is that that's the song "Sweet Caroline" that everyone sings at sporting events.
Mandi.
Gotcha. I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Bum, bum.
I apologize. And then we also have our Discord. You can find a button for that on our website. Join up, and we have a bunch of clubs and stuff that you can join up. So, what we have going on in Discord?
The big thing for the anime club is finally, after weeks of being, neglected on the voting ballot, we are finally watching the comedy sensation Hinamatsuri, September 9th at 10 p.m. EDT. You can watch it on Crunchyroll and Funimation, and it's probably up there with like Asobi Asobase is like one of the funniest shows of like the last couple years. So highly recommend giving it a shot and coming to the club on, like I said, the 9th, and joining voice chat and talking about it with us. And I think it's just going to be a discussion over people posting GIFs and memes and their favorite moments of the show. I think it'll be very lighthearted and fun, so we'd love to have you there.
It is very memeable. We also have my manga club, which will be this Wednesday, September 2nd, almost the 22nd. I'm jumping way too ahead. September 2nd, and we'll be reading the first 2 volumes of Yuri Is My Job.
Ooh.
So all you gotta do is read that. Come join us on the Discord on September 2nd at 10 p.m. EDT, and join the Manga Club voice chat, and we'll have a very laid-back discussion. If you just want to listen, totally fine. Just come in and chill out with us and have a laid-back discussion on some manga.
All right, and guys, we have the results from our listener choice poll. So we do this every season. Every season we select 8 anime to do reviews on. We try to find the best 8 shows from every season, but of course we are human, and so we do make errors sometimes, and people have things that they want us to cover. Oh, well, you didn't cover this, you didn't cover that, I hate you. Well, you have an opportunity to vote for your favorite show that we didn't already select. So we do that every season, and the results are in. So we have the top 3. So if you're number 3 or number 2 on this list, you are just second and third loser.
Number 3.
I guess that will be first or second loser. Number 3 on the list is Japan Sinks 2020. Got 14% of our vote, so not that shocking.
Thank goodness we don't have to watch this. Though I will say they are making a compilation film where they're going to go back and touch up a lot of things. I'm guessing remove a lot of the excess stuff. So if you were ever like, Japan Sinks 2020, I really want to give it a shot, wait for the movie to come out, and I think that version will be slightly less worse. So there you go.
Less worse. You heard it here. Okay. And next, number 2.
Number 2.
Uzaki-chan wa Asobi Tai, which I think Mandi ejected from the spaceship.
I did.
If I recall.
It's funny, and I didn't know that show was going to have such a huge following behind it.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I thought the comedy was very, very bland. I don't know. I was like, these are jokes we've seen a billion times. So I was like, eh.
Well, it got 15%. So pretty good amount of votes, but not quite enough not even close to enough.
Number 1.
42%. The god of high school has won the vote. I think we knew that.
That was
already.
Also me too. Sorry.
What a surprise.
Yeah, so I don't think we were all that shocked. There really wasn't that much to choose from this season, and if you add the 3 of these together, it's like 70% of all votes. So pretty much there wasn't really much people wanted us to cover, but it's been added to the list, so we'll cover it for you on the podcast at some point in the future. So look forward to that. So that's the results of the listener choice poll, guys. We do it every season. And listen, Discord's the first place I go to post the poll. So if you're on our Discord, you'll get a notification when it's time to vote, and you can go in there and it takes 10 seconds and have some fun. So just yet another reason to join the Discord. Okay.
Yeah, and so we have some fun stuff coming up. We have a game, which was kind of a last minute decision, wasn't it? It was only Thursday or something. We discussed it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was Friday.
But, I think it was Friday. We did it.
Yeah, but yeah, and it man, you guys pulled through on the polls that we submitted. And yeah, thank you so much for participating. So we will be doing a game called the Over Under Game, where listeners have submitted kind of like trivia questions about anime. We have to guess if the number they provided is whether or not the question is over or under. So that'll be fun. And after that, we have a review for the anime Sing Yesterday to Me.
Yesterday,
Enzo's
all my
picks.
troubles seem so far away.
I also finished it yesterday.
Oh, you didn't actually want me to sing Yesterday to you. Okay, wait, sorry.
No.
That was bad.
So, anything else before we move on?
Mitz is just in a sing-songy mood today. I like it.
He is, and it's tripping me up because some of these songs I don't know or I don't recognize.
Oh, come on. You know Yesterday by the Beatles?
Yes, but it took me a second.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm singing it, so that's probably why you don't recognize it. It's unrecognizable.
You're fine.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Big
Chat
news.
says more singing.
Big
So go ahead
news,
and
big
sing it.
news, big news.
Big news of the week.
Big news of the week. Big news.
Big news.
Big news, big news. Sorry.
Big
I
news.
actually thought about that. I think it might be fun to change the drop to that. It's
To
certainly of just
Oh,
of
no,
the
not
of
us.
the not us of the big O. We'll get someone to like dub over the song,
Oh.
and it will be pretty. It will be fucking fun.
Big
So
news.
I'm thinking about it.
Big news.
Well, it is big news. It's not anime news, guys, but it is big news. Shinzo Abe is stepping down as Prime Minister of Japan. So that's we outlasted him on this podcast. I remember when we talked about Shinzo Abe becoming the Prime Minister of Japan back in 2012, and it's such a big deal because he's the longest serving prime minister, I think, ever in Japan. And he's stepping down. He's 65. He's been in office for 8 years. And he's stepping down because of poor health. He's been suffering, I guess, ulcerative colitis, which I'm not that familiar with that, but to me it sounds like a lot of pain. So debilitating inflammatory bowel disease is how they describe it. And he's been in and out of the hospital now for, a couple weeks on and off, and people have been kind of worried about him. So he just thinks that he can't really perform his job properly when he's in the hospital all the time and just in crushing pain. So I don't know. Best of luck to him. Hopefully he'll recover. I don't know if that's something that you recover from, but maybe you just manage it. I don't know, but whatever it is, I hope they figure out a way to at least treat it to make it more comfortable for him. He's, like I said, he's been in office since 2012. He came in right after the Tohoku earthquake hit. So just to give you a reference on how long ago this was. And some of his better political successes, this coming from NPR and the Japan Times, providing stability for the Japanese government in a very active region of the world. A lot of stuff going on in Southeast Asia with China constantly being involved in all kinds of economic things, and a lot of the countries in Southeast Asia are growing very, very quickly, like Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, Korea. There's a lot of stuff going on, and having him there for 8 years in a row has let Japan have more of a say in policy and been taken more seriously in negotiations. So that's good. He passed legislation in 2015 that allowed Japan's military to expand its operations overseas to support more of their allies, including the United States. The USA and Japan have a very close relationship ever since World War II ended. And according to NPR, a successful manager of trade and relations in the U.S., and in particular with President Trump. Trump has been over to Japan a whole bunch of times, and they've managed to have a good relationship, and I think that's been an economic success for everybody. Some of the shortcomings of Abe, his most cherished political goal when he got into office was that he wanted to revise Japan's post-World War II constitution. So some parties in Japan think that the constitution that the United States set up with Japan was very not Japanese, I guess, to put it plainly, I guess. For example, they don't really the emperor has no role in Japan now. And so, and I guess some people in Japan don't like that. They think that Japan's emperor should have more of a presence. And so there's a number of things that they wanted to revise about the post-World War II Constitution, but I guess it just didn't get done. He's been criticized recently for the handling of COVID. I guess they don't feel like Japan handled COVID very well. They canceled the Olympics. His approval ratings had been dropping recently, which might have contributed to him stepping down. And the economy of Japan's not really doing that well, and it really hasn't for a long time. So COVID didn't help, but as noted, Japan's economy was on the downturn prior to the virus even really being a thing in the world view. So this is partially probably contributed by the failure of, quote, Abenomics, which you've probably heard about. Abenomics is mostly a philosophy on economics where the government stimulates the economy through various forms of intervention, like just spending money on things to help pump money into the economy, but it really hasn't worked. So currently Japan's seeking a new prime minister, and he's going to remain as the prime minister until they find somebody new. So that's about it. So Abe is stepping down 8 years. So it's not really a long time, maybe in the scope of the world, but this is a country that used to change prime ministers every 6 months. It was crazy. So, sad to see him go. Oh, Abe, how we will miss thee. That's about it.
I'll be honest, I'm unfortunately not as well versed with his policies and his role as I probably should be, but nonetheless, wish him the best for health reasons and all that.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't really have anything else to add.
Trying to find my drop here for the next segment, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, we haven't done Double Trouble in a very long time, so I was wondering what the pause was. I was like,
prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
Shut up! You haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here.
Oh, so surprising. Team Rocket.
The second big news of the week is Crunchyroll has announced a new membership tiers with offline viewing and multiple concurrent streams. They announced two new tiers that will be coming to the site in early September. And in the US, there's now going to be 4 tiers of essentially Crunchyroll options. You have your free tier, which is the same as it currently is. You have advertisements throughout episodes, and the newest episodes release a week after they come out. You have the current version, which is the fan, which is $8 a month, or whatever the equivalent is in your nation's currency, which is the same as it currently is. And the 2 new ones, you have the Mega Fan, which enables offline viewing and access to 4 streams at once, as well as a option to have a $15 discount off of every $100 purchase every 3 months. So if you're buying big figures or something off their store, once every 3 months you'll get a discount code to make those items cheaper. And finally, the top tier subscription plan is what they call the Ultimate Fan for $15 a month, where it's only in the US, and it allows you to go from 6 streams at once, or go from 4 to 6 streams at once, and instead of a $15 discount off big purchases, it's $25. So for not in the US, there's some other slight differences and tweaks, and I'm not too sure if any of these tiers will roll out to non-English speaking territories, but nonetheless, it looks like they're just giving people more options with how they want to support the site, the industry, and take advantage of their services.
Mm-hmm.
What is offline viewing?
Is
this
assume
are you gonna download it?
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say that's usually how it goes. So if you don't have access to the internet, in a place, you can download it, before you go, and then you can watch it offline. So you can just have it on your device.
I should mention also for the Ultimate Fan, if you are interested, it also comes with an annual bag full of goodies and access to exclusive merchandise that other people might not get. So I see no problem with offering people more options with how they want to ingest their content. So I see this as a good thing. I think it'd be nice.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised it took them this long to do offline viewing. Because I know Verve had it, and then
Yes.
but I never had Verve. I only had Crunchyroll, and there was a time before, like right now, I finally upgraded. It took me a long time. I finally upgraded to having a not data free. What do you call it? Like an unlimited
Unlimited
data.
data. Yeah.
Yeah, finally. And before that, I had a limit, and so I couldn't watch shows at work at the time, like on lunch break, and so I'd always download stuff in some other areas of the internet and put them on my iPad. But definitely, if Crunchyroll had provided that for me, so I could have at the time downloaded on their website, I totally would have done that. But I just didn't have the option back then.
In the current version of Crunchyroll, you can only have one stream going at once, correct?
Well, I share my account with my sister. Don't yell at me, Crunchyroll. I'm not telling you where I live.
I mean,
But
I guess, have you ever tried watching something
Yes,
while
we
she
have.
watches and it works?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But I don't know if that would, like, if we had an entire, like, if I had given it to my entire family, I have no idea. But at least 2 people, it works.
Gotcha. And I wasn't sure what the service is, but it seems like it
Now-
lets more people get on board with this. So
Now, if she was watching and was ahead of me, and then I came into the show, it would pick up where she was. But then I could just, rewind and go back to the beginning. So maybe it'll let you have, like,
4
I don't know.
accounts.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens when it rolls out in the coming weeks. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that, the streaming thing too, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm becoming grumpy about streaming services.
Becoming.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we had like, everyone tries to get off cable. It's like, oh, cable, blah. I tell my parents, I'm like, you're spending how many hundreds of dollars a month on cable? Are you insane? Like, they're literally like a TV commercial for getting the hell away from cable. It's like, my dad spends like $220 a month on fucking cable. And I'm like, are you insane? Like, you have any idea how much, it's like $2,600 a year. I'm like, you could easily just get like Hulu and Netflix and just call it a day. And you'd spend like $20 or whatever. But he just can't get rid of, I don't know, for some reason he can't figure it out. But
hey, they're coming after my AOL account. I gotta keep on paying for it.
I know, right? But like, streaming is becoming the new cable. It is. Like, it's anime is so fragmented now. If you want to watch everything, you got to have Verve, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix. I'm counting on my fingers here. Netflix, HBO, and that's 5. Am I missing anything? Funimation, High Dive. I mean, you spent there's $100.
Amazon.
I
I don't
mean,
know if you said that.
I don't even know, but the point is that like these aren't even cheap anymore. Like Netflix is like $17 a month,
Yeah.
and it's like Hulu's like 12.
They've got cheaper options, but yeah.
I mean, but do they? I mean, I don't know. Isn't like the high def version option like at least 15?
I think that's
I
like
don't
the 4K version.
I don't know. I guess the point is that like I'm fine with all these different services. Like, you want to offer Ultimate Fans for $15 so that people can get like discounts off the store or stuff like that. Like, that's fine. Like, people can do that if they want to do it. Like, I really don't care. But like, I guess how I see this is that like Crunchyroll is just trying to find more ways to make money, and that's business. But ultimately, they'll just end up raising the prices to make more money if they're so profit driven. And I don't know. Like, I don't want to have to spend $80 to watch all the animes legally. And I feel like if you freaking spend $80 to watch all the animes, bro, that's cable. Like, you're fucking paying for a cable. Like, you are. Like, my dad's buying movies and all kinds of other dumb shit that makes his bill high. But like, if you get DirecTV or something, it's like $100, right? And that doesn't even include your internet. So the internet's like 50 at least. So boom, they're like $100, $120.
It's really hard for us too, because we have to review shows for the podcast, but they're spread out over so many different services, and we try to keep everything legal. We want to keep things legit on our for our podcast, but it's hard. It's hard. We're like, oh, a new subscription service. We have to subscribe to that now too. It's oof. If I wasn't part of this podcast, I'd probably only have like maybe 2. And just be like, the other ones, don't have the service. Oh well.
Yeah, which is a shame because gating off content is not how you build a fan base more. But
especially when it's like High Dive only has like Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Sorry, no offense, High Dive, but that's the only show.
But
that's all you need, though.
But it is. I mean, come on, it is Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
And Amazon Prime, like they barely ever get shows that I'm interested in. They had like Vinland Saga was like that one, and after that, I was like, well, I don't know. We'll see if they eventually get something else I'm interested in.
Was Beastars Amazon?
Netflix.
Yes, you're right. I'm thinking of Hoseki no Kuni.
Sorry. Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm.
You know what pisses me off more than anything is like I was trying to watch Pulp Fiction the other night because my girlfriend's never seen Pulp Fiction, and I'm like, are you insane? So I'm pulling up Pulp Fiction, and I pull it up on Netflix, and they don't have it, and then I pulled it up on Hulu, it's not there, and I go to Amazon, and it's there, and they go $4.99, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Like, I have Amazon Prime, I'm paying $900 for all these streaming services, and I can't even watch friggin' Pulp Fiction for free? Are you kidding? $4.99? Like, you want me to pay $5 to watch? Jesus, I mean, you want me to?
It's a good movie though.
But that is every fucking thing. Like, Fifth Element, can't find it. You want to watch Fifth Element? $4. $4. I'm starting to think Amazon Prime's video is worthless. Like, I swear to God, every time I go on there to like watch something, it costs money. I'm like, I'm already paying for Amazon Prime. I thought the point was that like I get to watch this shit for free, but no,
I feel you.
Driving me nuts.
I was going to talk about this later, but when I talk about the movie for this week, I was going to talk about how when I talked about the movie last week, The Case of Hannah and Alice, I was like, oh, it's on Amazon, and my brain just defaulted to saying Prime afterwards. And it is on Amazon, but with your Prime subscription, you still have to pay, like you said, the $3.99, $4.99 to get it.
God.
The one today, actually free with Amazon Prime, but it's so old you'll understand why.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We just need more retro crushes. Can we just
my God,
give us all retro crushes where we watch them for free?
What about the YouTube channel that's apparently going to get like loaded with tons and tons of like shonen and other shows? So that could be good.
What's going to happen is that this is going to cause piracy to spike up again because people are going to go, I can't spend $85 to have every friggin' streaming service, and so someone's going to have like Hulu. They'll have Hulu and they'll have Verve. And honestly, like, I feel like you should be able to get everything just from Hulu and Verve, but because I mean Verve's got like what 3 or 4 things rolled into it, and it's like someone's going to say, oh well, I'm already spending. Truth be told, it's like that's like $30 for when I'm counting Netflix in my head. So that's like $20. People are like, oh, I can't afford more than $20 a month for streaming, and then they're gonna go, oh my God, but I really want to watch Beastars, but I can't afford Netflix. Boom, they're on GoGo Anime watching Beastars. But I feel like that's what's gonna happen because ultimately people can't afford to spend $85 on all the streaming services, and then they're just gonna go to like some place and watch them illegally. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think there's just too many, but it's hard because like you don't want them all to be on one service because then that one service could, there's no competition there, so they can treat you really awful and like I don't know, maybe their subs are terrible and they're just like, well, we have no other competition, we're not gonna bother fixing them or something like that. So you want them to have a little competition, but there's too many, way too many.
And the number's increasing. Like it's going up. Like everybody has anime now. Before you know it, they're going to have a Toonami anime that you got to pay for. And then Disney Plus will have anime. May already. I don't know. It's crazy. I feel like I need to have a segment called like Mitsuki is Grumpy. What is it?
Every episode.
That's every episode for 2 hours and 37 minutes.
It'll just be like the drop of me harumphing about all this stuff. And then like, yeah.
Anyway. So I will say, going back to the Crunchy Tears as a closing thing, Mitsuki mentioned like, upping the cost of Tears to pay for the service, and that's how they keep it in business. But if this kind of helps stretch that out and say, hey, if you want these extra bonus things, pay the extra money, and that helps keep them going while being able to keep the base product at like $8 a month, like I think that's a good call. So people can keep on enjoying it without it spiking up in price just yet.
The other saving grace is that like if you don't give a shit about watching the same commercial 14 times because Verve's shit is so broken, like you can watch Verve for free, but it does take like 40 minutes to get through an episode of anime because there's so many commercials. But all right, are we done?
I think so. We can move on. We have a lot to do today.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
Okay.
Oh, is this me?
Yeah, well, you're the one that you mentioned this earlier in the week, so
I regret it.
Uh-oh.
So the first not hot new release that we have is Netflix is bringing out a Dragon's Dogma anime, and they released the trailer for it. So Dragon's Dogma, for those who don't know, is a Capcom game that came out years ago, originally on PS3, then PS4, PC on Steam, and I think it's also out on the Switch now. So I really loved that game. So when I first heard the murmurs of this and knowing, oh, Netflix did a great Castlevania series.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
This might be cool. Guys, you watch that trailer? If you ever saw the trailer for the Dawn Seeker, the Dragon Age movie, this is what it reminds me of. So the trailer for it is very, very heavy CG. I think the entire thing is in CG.
Yeah, it's a lot of CG.
The anime will consist of 7 episodes, each named after one of the 7 deadly sins. The anime will debut worldwide on September 17th, exclusively on Netflix. And the director is Shinya Sugai, who worked on Walking Meat. What is that? I've never heard of that.
Oh my god, Walking Meat. I've heard of that. I've heard of that, but I didn't watch it though.
I've never heard of it. Is it an anime? Or is it a movie?
I don't know.
But he also worked on 009 Re-Cyborg, something else I've never heard of. But Netflix describes the anime as the story follows a man's journey seeking revenge on a dragon who stole his heart. On his way, the man is brought back to life as an arisen, an action adventure about a man challenged by demons who represent the 7 deadly sins of humans. So if you like the game that's coming out, and maybe check it out, maybe, I am very skeptical.
I mean, I'm watching that trailer right now, and I don't think it looks so super terrible. I mean, I don't know. It is CG-ish.
I have been proven wrong before, because I did think B-Stars looked bad in the trailer, and when that came out, I was like, this is amazing.
I think the subject matter of Dragon's Dogma is really cool, and the trailer is really heavily action-packed, and so, like, I mean, I never played the games, but I don't know. I can get down with some dragon action.
I think they're decent action RPG games. If you want to check them out, the textures on them are a little They're very, very black. Like the whole game looks low res to me, but I still thought it was a really good game with a great like character customization system.
Yeah. I think that time passed me up, Mandi. I don't have any more room in my life for any more video game loves.
That's understandable.
Stop trying to tempt me, temptress.
I just want to check out Walking Meat now. That seems like the most interesting.
That
part of the
sounds
story.
like it wouldn't be walking very long around you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
The next one that we have is Irregular at Magic High School Anime's 2nd season is premiering on October 3rd. And I've never seen the Irregular at Magic High School. Have you guys ever seen that?
We failed the first season a long time ago. Back when I was in Japan, I failed it, and I have seen some of it, and I recall there being some like brother sister love stuff going on. But hey, I don't know. That was like a long time ago. This was like so long ago, guys. You know, times, you know, people can change. You know, I don't fucking know. Listen, the Irregular Magic High School, I put it on here because if you look on my anime list, which probably you can toss all the scores on my anime list out if you want, but if nothing else, it should tell you at least what the popular shows are. They'll have a lot of viewers, and this one has like 700,000, so it's up there with like it's like ReZero-ish. It's up there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those shows where like the school has the haves and the have-nots type of thing. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I was trying to think. The one I think I'm thinking of, Railgun. No, I'm sorry, I've never
Oh, I
seen
love
this.
me some Railgun.
But this is the second season, and it will premiere in Japan on October 3rd. The series was originally supposed to come out in July, but it was postponed due to COVID. And the director is Risako Yoshida, who did the first season. And the anime production studio is Studio 8-Bit. Did they do season 1? I'm going to assume yes.
I don't know, but I will happily effort that for you right now.
But it says the synopsis is, oh, that's a name. Mahoka Koko no Reitetsai. Oh no, that's just the name of the series.
Yeah.
Studio. That was someone's name.
Studio Madhouse did season 1.
I'm sorry, but the series follows the siblings Tatsuya and Miyuki Shiba, who are enrolled in first high school. Upon taking the exam, the prodigious Miyuki is placed in the first course, while Tetsuya is regulated to the second course. And though his practical test scores and status as a weed show him to be magically inept, he possesses extraordinary technical knowledge, physical combat capabilities, and unique magic techniques, making Tetsuya the irregular at the magic high school. So I don't know. I don't know anything about the series, but if you guys are excited for it, I hope you enjoy.
I'm just looking up that Walking Meat show now.
Oh my god!
I
heard food.
It's a 21-minute movie about an alternate Japan where they have, using voodoo, arisen zombies, and they use zombies to make zombie products like instant noodles, soft drinks, and hamburgers.
Yeah.
So I am now also looking at Walking Meat.
They are the Walking Meat, and I guess it literally says a trio of self-centered millennials get trapped in a fully automated zombie farm.
Oh my god.
I'm definitely going to check that out. So
I'm going to watch it too. Let's talk about it our next What Have We Been Watching?
Yes, it's a Production IG thing, so it looks pretty, it's 2 years old. Yeah, let's do it.
2018? How come I never heard of this?
If you're like, Mason, how do you find all the weird stuff like this? Literally just someone makes a throwaway comment and you just dig down that rabbit hole. Anyway, moving on. Trivia. We have our website trivia, which you can find at aaapodcast.com. You scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a nice picture down there. And if you know what show that picture is from, you type it in and you can win a fabulous prize. The answer from last week, and coincidentally the show we were watching for Anime Club in 2 weeks, is Hinamatsuri. And the person who got it right was Gurren Lager. Congrats to you.
Congrats.
I think, is there one more week of Kurland's lesser
yes,
favorites?
There is one more week.
And then the winner for the month will be announced. So this is your last chance to get in on the prize pool. Additionally, we have an in-show trivia question for you to mull over while we go into our news break, and that is, the anime title Sing Yesterday for Me was inspired by a song from a Japanese rock group. What is the Japanese rock group's name? Bonus points if you know the song's name. And we'll reveal all of this and more after the break. See you soon.
Hey, all you anime addicts, Mitsuki is here, and I am bringing you your anime news break. Leading off today with a couple new anime announcements, Machikaido Mazoku is receiving a second season. English title, Demon Girl Next Door, and I will say, you have my attention. The series is adapting Izumi Ito's 4-coma comedy slice of life manga, and JC Staff, I presume, is going to be doing this second season as they did the first season back in the summer of 2019. The synopsis, after a strange dream, high school student Yuko wakes to see that she has demonic horns and a tail. Dazed and confused, her mother reveals to her a dark family secret. Her family is descended from a dark clan that was banished to live powerless and destitute by their mortal enemies, the magical girls of the Light Clan. And the only way to lift the curse is for Yuko to find a magical girl and murder her ass. Well, one day a magical girl does save Yuko from being run over by a truck, but it is one of her classmates. And so antics ensue. So we will have to see how that one pans out when it comes out. Next up, the 39th issue of Weekly Shonen Jump magazine revealed that the television anime of Shinya Komi and High Rock's X-Arm manga is going to be debuting in 2021 in January. It was delayed due to COVID to, quote, fall 2020 or later, and now we have a little more info about when that's going to be coming out. So Crunchyroll will stream the anime as a, quote, Crunchyroll original series. It's going to star Soma Saito, Mikako Komatsu, and Akari Kito as the cast. The manga's crime battle story centers on high school student Akira Natsume, only his brain is saved when he is involved in a traffic accident, and it later becomes part of an advanced weapon. Akira cooperates with the police's X-Arm Countermeasure Division in order to regain his lost memories and body. So if you're a fan of that property, it's going to be coming out here in January, so you'll be able to enjoy that for the winter season. Next up, voting opens for web manga general election in 2020. PI14 and Nippon Shupan Hanbai Inc.'s big-time web manga general election. They have big polls, 27,000 applications for web manga that were submitted. They have whittled down the list to about 50 series, and they're online for you to vote for until September 17th. So if you want to go online and vote for them, you can. The current nominees in English are Sakai and Miyano by Sho Harusono, Cherry Magic, 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard by Yu Toyota, Meikuru-chan by Tomoki Izumi, and My Level 999 Love for Yamada-kun by Mashiro. So if you're a fan of any of those, or any of the other nominees that have made it to the final 50, go check out the Nippon Shupan Hanbai website. You can vote for the web manga awards. Next up, Netflix has confirmed a live-action Resident Evil series by Constantine Films, and the fandom of Resident Evil is cringing. They're going to be doing a live-action adaptation of Resident Evil, which should make people very excited. The Brolin Hughes of The Walking Dead is going to be directing the series. But the synopsis just has people feeling pretty weird, as it states that they will be telling a new story. 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker, which for those of you that have played the game know that doesn't sound quite right, have moved to New Raccoon City. And then generally the synopsis of Resident Evil as it is, zombies in the corporate-run town. But just some aspects of the synopsis have a little bit of the fandom rolling their eyes at the script, I guess. But you have to keep your eyes peeled and ears for when the 8-episode series is going to be premiering on Netflix sometime in the future. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now, of course, we're going to get back to the podcast, as we do right now. Hey Addicts, I guess you have probably heard by now, but we have decided that at the end of August, we will be ending our promotional arrangement with JList.com. So what does this mean exactly? Well, we do still recommend you visit JList for all your anime shopping needs, but we will no longer be receiving financial support from JList to run the podcast the way that we have in past years. But don't panic yet. We're putting out a rallying cry to all the anime addicts across the globe to help support the podcast. We need you guys more than ever, and you can visit patreon.com or our website, aaapodcast.com/join to offer support. Anything is appreciated, and you'll get some pretty sweet content as a reward. Don't forget those hobby addicts and hentai episodes. So again, help us help make your anime addiction worse over at Patreon or aaapodcast.com/join. We really appreciate your help. Like EPO, we're never down and out. It's time for one more Gazelle Punch. Together, let's make that anime addiction worse for years and years to come.
この番組は JList.com の提供でお送りします。And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous History.
I I've been watching Inuyasha. I'm getting into it. I mean, honestly, Kagome is way too fucking good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kagome is cooler and cuter than 90% of anime characters.
She's fucking tough as shit too.
She's tough as shit. Her outfit kind of sucks. She maybe just draw some something different on Kagome once in a while, because she's running around in this fucking skirt and they're always hiking in the woods and shit, and she's gonna get her nice legs all torn up by these fucking tree branches and briar bushes and nettle and all this crap because you didn't want to give the girl some fucking pants. So I'm sorry, but thigh-high socks and a skirt doesn't quite cut it. She's not Sailor Moon. Put some fucking pants on her. She's cold, for God's sake.
I do kind of like Koga, the wolf demon.
He's the guy that Kagome needs to be with. He's so fast. She'd be like, "Oh, Kogai, I'm the mother of your child. I need watermelon and pickles." And he's so fucking fast. Boom. That bitch is down the street to the 7-Eleven in 2 shakes of a wolf's tail, because that guy can run fucking fast. He's like Sonic. He can get anything Kagome needs in 2 damn seconds. He's gonna be running down the street, and he'll be running back, and he'll pass 16 girls he'll be holding watermelon and baby formula and all the shit that she doesn't need yet. And they'll be like, "See, I gotta get me a man like that." That's right, Kagome. You need to get you some Koga. That's what I'm talking about.
There we are. We are back. So, we had a question for you before we went on break, and the question was, the anime title Sing Yesterday for Me was inspired by a song from a Japanese rock group. What is the Japanese rock group's name? Bonus points if you know the song's name. And the answer, which Lunar in the chat got it. I was very impressed. Good job.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, the group's name is RC Succession, and the song is called Singin' Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
All my troubles seem so far away. Sorry. I love that song, though. It's a good song. And you know what? Koga's good, too, you know?
I was going to say, I noticed that you put our Inuyasha
Recent
chat.
discussion.
I mean, it just doesn't get any better in Inuyasha. It's just a sad world for
Did you get any further?
Yeah, you know, we pretty much watch Inuyasha when we're eating dinner, and that's pretty much it. But, you know, it's now I've got Miroku riding on top of Kirata, groping underage girls and shit. I mean, he's just the worst.
Weird.
He is the worst. He is so man, the poor Songo. She's like, I love him, but
He was funny at first, and then it got really old. I was like, oh man, This guy's awful.
Songo, she's like,
But
I love him.
Kilala.
Yeah,
I love Kilala.
I just pet her all day. She's so cute. Yeah.
You know, the cat just looks definitely like a fox.
Oh, that Miroku. I love him, but fuck,
Songo,
he's hot trash.
Songo, you can do so much better.
Oh my God, she's so
you're
hot.
gorgeous. You're so sweet. You kick ass. Songo.
Kagome she's so hot. Kagome is the fucking bomb. I mean, wow. I mean, I don't even know what to.
She could do better too.
She could do way better. Way better.
But me,
Wow.
I mean, what could I say? I am into my Sephiroth boy, though.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I get it.
All right. Anyway.
Manga Minute?
Of course.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandi.
This is Mandy's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and help you find something new to read. And this one is called Wake Up, Sleeping Beauty. Despite being a scaredy cat and a crybaby, high schooler Tetsu Misato finds himself working at the Eerie estate on the hill, where Shizu, the only child of the Katasawa family, is secreted away. However, his friendship with Shizu quickly turns to fear when several spirits of the dead appear before him, borrowing her appearance. As he struggles to find the humanity in her supernatural condition, Tetsu must also face a question at once terrifying and heartbreaking. What if the true Shizu never returns? So, Wake Up Sleeping Beauty is a supernatural shoujo series written and illustrated by Megumi Modino. It is a completed series with 6 volumes total, and all of those volumes are available in English, both digitally and in print. So, Tetsu is hired to clean this mansion for a sick girl who is confined to her house. And after sneaking Shizu out of the house to view the stars one night, he realizes that he's falling in love with her bright smile and confesses that he wants to start a relationship with her. And Shizu tells him to come back to the house tomorrow for his answer if he's actually serious about this. But when Tetsu returns for his answer, Shizu doesn't seem to remember him at all. And she claims that the one he actually spoke to was a young boy named Haru. So, very confused by the situation, Tetsu is convinced that Shizu is suffering from a multiple personality disorder. But a terrifying event proves to him that Shizu is actually a vessel for multiple spirits. Some are harmless, some are a little more dangerous. So, Wake Up Sleeping Beauty might not be doing anything groundbreaking or like entirely unique, but I actually still really enjoy the first volume though. The art is very clean. The characters are a little more open and willing to talk to each other than like your typical shoujo protagonists. I feel like the relationship might actually go somewhere if it heads in like a positive direction. I can also see it going in a very tragic one. But and I also found the mix of spirits inhabiting Shizu's body to be interesting enough for me to continue it. So it also helps that the series is very short as well. It's only 6 volumes, so it's a very fast read. So if you would be interested in something like that, and maybe a series that sounds more like a more serious version of 1 Week Friends, then definitely give it a shot.
Are these the kind of relationships that you'd like want to see them continue with? As it seems like it's off to a good start with, like you said, their ability to actually communicate.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because at first he's not talking to Shizu at all.
Okay.
He gets it up really well with Haru.
Yeah.
But Haru is the spirit of a young boy in her body, so he just wants to be friends. He's just so excited to finally have friends with the main guy. So, but when he does finally get to talk to Shizu, she's very shy, but she's also like very open about what's going on. And so it seems like he's still interested and like wants to help her and get to know her and try to figure out how to navigate this whole situation. But he's also very terrified, obviously, because there's some ring moments in there where
Have we ever had
some of those spirits are not good.
have we ever had a love triangle with like a multi-personality thing where it's like the same body?
More like a love, like I don't know how many spirits are in there. There's a lot.
Okay, dodecahedron of friends with benefits.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though, so I kind of want to continue it.
Nice. Let's
Okay.
be back. There
We
we
good?
go.
Yep. All right. Well, Mason. And of course,
So
thank you,
excited.
Mandy, for always having endless recommendations for
problem.
people.
This one was really short, so I don't see it getting into anime, but I could be wrong. Let's see.
Mason, are you ready for your new segment?
I am. I'm so excited to hear this.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
Popcorn.
I've made her just for saying popcorn.
Popcorn. You did that.
Popcorn.
I apologize, UDA.
No, it was so delightful. I love it. I love it so much.
Aw.
Yes, welcome to the episode 2 of the Still Developing series, where I go mining for movies in search of the gems that don't get talked about enough. As I mentioned earlier, this one is actually on Amazon Prime for free, so if you have that service already, you can go watch it. And that film is Hakujaden, aka Panda and the Magic Serpent, aka The Tale of the White Serpent, aka the first anime film in color and one of the first anime films that ever came out in America and the UK. It's an hour and 18 minutes long, and it came out in 1958. And there was a restored version that came out in 2019, but I think the Amazon version is the original. It's directed by Taiji Yabushita, and it was a Studio Toei work. And it is an adaptation of one of the big four Chinese folklore stories called The Legend of the White Snake. It tells the story of a magic fish and serpent who both transform into beautiful princesses and her handmaiden, and she kind of falls in love with a prince who has pandas for sidekicks, which is already a great start.
Oh.
Later on, it gets wild. We get organized crime carried out by a pig, Donald Duck, and weasels that wear hats. They slap the crap out of pandas.
Dirty business.
You get some ghostly like DBZ spirit battles and like underwater fish CPR. It's wild. This show, or this movie, I should say, goes all over the place, and it's a pretty fun watch. It's full of like Chinese instrumentations, which I always enjoy. Hearing like that folk like soundscape is always something I really enjoy. That's part of why I love Modao Zushi so much, is I just inherently like those sounds. And yes, it's from the 50s. The animation definitely feels a bit dated, and you can tell they were trying to like ape the Disney style. Like, but when you compare it to how like Lady and the Tramp looks, also from like the same year, it doesn't even come close to how good the Disney films look. And especially the dub, which is the only version I was able to find, the voice acting is pretty darn not good, almost comically so. So it's definitely has that like early production woes, but it's fun for that. But more worthwhile than the movie itself is kind of the history of how this whole movie came to be, which is absurd. This was done by over 13,000 staffers.
What?
And they made this whole movie in like 8 months. Like, you think about how many movies take years to finish. I mean, obviously epics like Princess Mononoke took 7+ years, but that's a long movie. But this was 8 months to finish. And a lot of the people they brought on to do it were manga artists who had never done animation. They just brought them in and were learning to animate as they went. In particular, Rintaro, who is, went on to co-found a little studio called Madhouse. This was like the first thing he ever worked on. And someone said this about the film. I was hooked when I first saw Hakujaden. I wound up choosing to be an animator because of it. You know who said that? Miyazaki. This film like inherently drove so many creators to go into anime that while I wouldn't strongly recommend watching it from a like, oh, this is a good movie, and it's definitely a children's movie. It's got a lot of cute animals in it. It's too washed out for, I would say, kids of this era to really enjoy it. It is worth watching in the sense if you just want to kind of be an anime historian and kind of appreciate how far anime has come and how it developed. And if you want similar stories, I think there's been so many movie versions of this same White Snake story. I know a CG movie came out in recent years that is also supposed to be pretty good. And I would say this is like a version of Ponyo with a similar like fish turned human relationship and friendship, just 50 years earlier. So I think watching this and Ponyo back to back would definitely be like a very eye-opening experience. So not a huge movie that I'd recommend for enjoyment, but I nonetheless am glad I gave it a shot. So if you decide to check it out, let me know what you thought of it.
Cool.
And with that, we can move to our main topic. And this is one of our games that we sometimes like to play, and I'm very excited for this. This was suggested by Hirio, I believe. I forgot the number, 135. Going off on a limb.
The limb is yours, sir.
It sounds right.
I want to give him the credit if that was the right number. Yes, Hirio, you 135, who just suggested it in our Discord. I'm like, you know what? That sounds pretty fun right now. So the rules are, our listeners have gone on a poll that Mitsugi made and proposed questions with a over or under answer. For example, they would say, how many Dragon Balls are there? Over or under 6? And the three of us will think about it, and some of us will say over if we're smart. Some of us will say under if you're like me. And you get a point for everything you get correct. Play along at home. There's no pushes, so the answer is never the number that they propose. It's always going to be over or under that. There are 20 questions, and we will see how we stack up in our knowledge of all sorts of questions that you guys submitted. So thank you for the idea, and thank you all who actually went to the poll and suggested these questions. So
I'm excited for this.
yeah. So I assume we'll just take turns reading a couple, and then we can switch off.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna keep score. I'm not very good at OBS. Otherwise, I'd have the scores up on the stream. I just want to be good. You know, I just want to be good. But
Okay, here's the first not official question.
okay.
Over or under 10? How many points do you think you're gonna get
In this
this over/under game?
I'm gonna say over, because if you were just, since we're doing 20 questions, if you were just to guess randomly, you'd get on average 10, and then some of them you'll know for sure. So I'm gonna say over.
Okay. Mandy?
I don't know. How many questions are there?
20 questions.
There's
So
20?
Do you think you're gonna get at least half of them correct?
Well, it's a 50-50 chance. So I'm gonna say yes.
You would say over.
Over. No,
Over. So
I'm
we're
gonna
all
get exactly 9.
feeling all pretty confident here. So I guess we'll just start off with question number 1, submitted by Gaston. How many eggs does he... Actually, that's not... No, we're not playing that now. We're going to get sidetracked. Enough for a barge. Anyway, question number 1. How many kilometers long is Shidonia in Knights of Shidonia? Is it over or under 25 kilometers?
Oh my goodness.
So
Clue.
right off the bat, throwing us for a loop with kilometers and not miles. Come on.
The
I've
ship
never
the
seen
ship
it.
itself. Okay.
We tried reading it.
We
But I
did.
don't
I don't think we
remember.
ever got there.
No, we didn't.
Not where it would like tell us it's like dimensions.
I'm gonna say over, just because the ship's big. I don't know. I don't have a clue though.
I'm gonna say over as well. I don't know. I bet it's close to 25. A lot of these people are probably gonna make them difficult by picking a number that's
Right around
fairly
where it is.
close. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess under because go big or go under. That's what I say.
Oh. All right. Well, I have them blacked out. So we'll just let the person who's reading the question can go ahead and reveal
I
the
just
answer.
The answer is it is over. It is 29 kilometers long. So
Hey!
Mitsuki and Mandy,
Bing, 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 bing,
1
bing.
point. Mason,
Guessing's already going good for
big
me.
fat goose egg.
Oh, Mason.
That's okay. That's okay. Makes the come from behind victory more impossible, actually, if we're being honest. I'll do the next two. The next question comes to us from Not Justin, and the question is...
Oh, definitely not Justin.
It's probably not.
It's
How
Justin.
many... That's Detective Mandy on the case. How many Pokemon currently exist, according to Pokemon.com?
God.
Over or under 890?
Oh my God.
Pokemon.com?
I mean,
Well,
Mandy probably knows the exact number.
it seems like a trick question.
Oh.
I don't. Why don't you guys go first before I walk myself through this?
I feel like if it was... I feel like by not going with 900, like I wonder why that wasn't like the nice round number chosen, you know? And I wonder like if Pokemon.com, like how they do like the unknowns, do they count all the alphabets as different Pokemon? I'm guessing not, but I think there's got to be more than 900, so I'm going to say over.
Oh my gosh. Well,
This many as I flash up, as many as I'm counting.
I'm gonna say over as well. I feel like they put out like 100 a game or so, or 150 a game, and there's been an awful lot of games since that first game back when I was a kid. So it doesn't take very many installments of 150 to get to 900. So that's approximately 6. So I'm gonna say over. But I think that's crazy though. How many Pokemon do we need?
The last legendary that was in Sword and Shield was Eternatus, and his number is 890. But I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know if this person is including the new legendaries that they just released in the new expansion, because they did put out a new one. And it
Pokemon.com has to be recent, right?
I would think so. And that one does have 3 different evolutions. So I'm assuming that the person probably knows that, and I would say over. So it would be 94, I think. It's like 93 and 94.
Okay.
That's what I would say. But if he doesn't know that, then 890 would be the exact answer.
Mandy's
So
like, I want
over
Mandy's
All
like, I
three of
want
us are going
bonus
over.
points. Yeah, what is the
Answer
answer?
is 892. So
92. Okay.
we all get the point. I guess Mandy is technically the closest because she counted it out. But yeah, nice. So you two remain in the lead. And the
Damn
third
right.
question
Damn
comes
Skippy.
from Gore Grind Goku. And the question is, in
I love it.
Trigun, how many double dollars is the bounty on Vash worth? Over or
gosh.
under 1 billion?
$1 billion.
It has been forever since I've seen Trigun.
$100 billion.
I'll say over because I don't remember.
It's how many? Okay, it's
It's definitely more than the one, but I don't remember if it was billion or like what, like, million, trillion, like what subset of it was. So I'll say
It's-
over as well.
it's over, and I actually know the exact number.
Oh, nice.
I believe it is 10 billion.
Okay.
I
And the
remember a lot of zeros on the wanted poster.
answer is 60 billion.
Oh,
60 billion. Vash is, it's double dollars. You got to convert, my dude. So
Oh,
once
shit.
again, 3 straight over answers. Hopefully I'm not detecting a trend, but the game continues with Mandy and Mitz at 3, Mason at 2, trailing behind. So who wants to take the next batch?
I vote
Oh,
Mandy.
the next one. I'll do the next one because it's a Hunter x Hunter one, it looks like. This one is from John Ken Pun. In Hunter x Hunter, how many participants of the 287th and the 288th Hunter exams were able to pass and obtain their professional hunter's license? Over or under 9?
He's
I
got
know the answer.
he's got
so.
287 and 288.
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
think it's
It's got to be
between
over.
the two. It's got to be over.
I think it's over. No, wait,
It's
no, what?
under.
No, it's under because the second one is just Killua.
Yeah. Yeah, 287. 7 people passed, which were Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, Hisoka, Paco, my boy, Hanzo, the ninja, and Illumi. And then Killua got kicked out for murder. And then Killua came back and he beat everybody in the first round, so it was just Killua. So 8 people.
All right, I'm gonna need a judgment call. Do I get that one or not? I came in a split second late, but
I'll give it to you. Mandy was just so excited to flex on us.
Sorry.
I'll give it to you.
Did you get that one,
I
Mason?
don't even have to look at the
No,
black.
no,
I already know.
I said over.
All right. Thank you for being so kind.
How do I reveal these?
You highlight the.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah. All
She
right,
goes around highlighting all the answers for
No,
correct.
I didn't.
Mandy,
Kidding, I'm
Mandy,
kidding.
we're watching that cursor.
I wanted to make sure that they actually put down 8. I did have to look. If you didn't put down 8, you are wrong. The next one is from HP, and they say, how many episodes does One Piece have? Over or under 958? I have no idea. I'm going to say over because it's One Piece.
I'm going to say over because on a long enough timeline, I will be correct. So,
Yeah, right.
even if I'm not right now, in a couple years from now, they'll be like, oh yeah, Mason, he should have gotten the point back then. So, and this, yeah, we're going over. I'm going over.
Ooh.
You throw in all the movies in there. That's got to count.
I assume the movies don't count. Over or
They
under?
probably don't. They
Over or
probably
under
don't.
950.
I don't have a clue.
Over or
I'm just
not?
guessing.
Under 958. I guess I'm gonna go over because I think it was like 900 not that long ago, and I assume it never takes.
I feel like
breaks.
it's been 900 forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over.
All right, let's see. Wait, 931? It's under. We all.
Oh, we all missed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going
That's
to
sad.
my anime list right this second.
Mason's like, wait,
Mason said you're wrong.
wait, just a minute.
Oh no, I have no idea. I completely believe that it's right, but actually no, because they're just gonna have a question mark at the end. Dang it! Mel, you failed me once again. That's why I'm completely on anime list now. Mel is dead to me.
The next
Piece
one.
episodes.
The next one is Hito U135, the person who submitted this topic. And they asked, how many character cameos from the cast of Your Name are in Weathering with You?
Oh.
Over or under 2.5?
Yeah.
Hold on. How do you have half a person?
It's a betting mechanic to make sure that there's never a tie. a push.
Oh, gotcha.
But I outlawed push in the rules, so.
Oh, I gotcha. I haven't seen Weathering with You, so I have no idea. I'm gonna say over because I don't have a clue.
I haven't seen it yet either. But if it's just your name, I'm going to say under because I need to make some sort of stand here. And according to Wikipedia, One Piece is at 939 episodes. So already 8 more than wherever the current
But
count
they're
was.
still correct.
It's still under. It's still under, but we're less incorrect.
I'm going to say under. I think it's 2, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say over. I don't have a clue.
Mason?
I didn't read this question. Oh, I said under, though. I said under.
Okay.
Because I think the other references will be from the other movies.
Over 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Mandy's ahead. Oh, boy. Here we go. She must be stopped. How do we stop her?
I had a 50-50 chance. I didn't know.
Okay.
Aren't all of Shinkai's movies the same anyways? Aren't they all
Pretty
the exact
much.
same characters?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, the next question is, what is the difference between the MAL scores of Code Geass and Code Geass Season 2?
I don't have a clue. The difference?
Over or under
my goodness.
over or under 0.15.
Oh god, I have no idea. That's such a
I'll go out.
I'll say
I'll,
over. No, under. I'll say under.
I was going to say over.
I was gonna say over 0.5 just because it was so low already. I'm gonna say under because it'd be like, you would never get this.
You would never think that they're that similar.
I have no idea.
Code Geass is pretty highly rated, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of room for it to get better or worse, but you gotta go bold. So I'm going over.
I
Only
think
because
so.
there was a substantial difference between 2 and 1 that could drive people away. So
I think so as well. I'm going to say over. Mandy, what did you say?
I said under.
And the answer is over. 0.18. ReZero, or I keep saying ReZero. Code Geass Season 1 has an 8.73, and ReZero, or Code Geass, what is wrong with me? Code Geass Season 1 has an 8.73, and Code Geass Season 2 has an 8.91.
You got me. The 0.15 was so low. I was like, it has to be under.
yeah,
All right. And then the next one, also from Hero UE35, I guess is how he probably says it. On Crunchyroll's YouTube page, how many views does the opening to Keep Your Hands Up Eizouken have? Over or under 9.1 million?
once again, another on a long enough timeline. I'll eventually be
Yeah.
correct with over. I'm gonna say under though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say under too. Since the other one was over, this one has to be under.
I can't type these. I'm trying to type these questions on the Twitch, and I can't do them quick enough on this crappy keyboard. So
For those of you who can't remember exactly what it is, this is the Easy Breezy song that was a meme with the characters dancing, and it's amazing and it's a bop, and you should listen to it, but not enough to drive it over 9.1 million. So I'm not incorrect.
I'm gonna say under. Did we all say under?
I think so.
Mhm.
The answer is under 8.8 million. So we all
Heck
got
yeah!
it. We all
Heck
got it.
yeah! I know my Yuasa.
Okay.
My turn.
Currently, the score for people at home, score is Mandy and Mitsugi are tied with 6, and Mason is close behind at 4. And I have one more, I believe.
Okay.
The next one is by the Eggman.
Ooh.
How many costs have been incurred in Fugo Keiji, Unbalanced Unlimited through episode 7 in yen?
Oh my gosh.
Some spoilers right
I
here.
haven't seen episode. I've only seen the first 3.
Over or under 100 billion?
I'm gonna say over because that dude spends a lot of money.
I haven't seen a single episode of the show, so I'm gonna take the coward's way out and say over and agree with Mandy.
I'm gonna say over because 100 billion yen isn't all that much. Well, that's $1 billion. I'm gonna say
7 episodes though.
I'm gonna say
Boy, he's rolling in it.
I'm gonna say
He
under.
does-
'Cause
yeah.
listen, it's hard to spend $1 billion, and I'm gonna say under because doesn't that take place in like the 70s or some shit? So
No, I don't think so.
not that Japan has any inflation.
I don't know.
To speak
That
of.
dude bought a whole boy band to come play for a train of. I don't know. He just throws money to everything. He crashes his car into shit. He's like, nah, you know what? I'll just write checks for everybody.
I'm gonna say under.
Over.
All right. The answer is under.
Damn.
3 billion. He's got the exact number. How does he have the exact number? 3,602,465,616.
Shit.
That's wild.
I haven't seen 7 episodes, sir. Just kidding.
Mason, were you over or under on that one?
I was under on that one.
All right, it's getting close. The
Wait,
race
what
has
was it?
tightened.
No, I was over. I followed what
You
Mandy
agreed
did.
with me.
I followed what Mandy did.
All right. All right, and I have relinquished the reading of the questions to our dear friend Mason.
All right. And next one comes to us from Outlaw Mazinger, who asks, how many prefectures are there in Japan? Over or under 50?
It's a great question.
I actually know this one, so I'm feeling good about it.
Go last then. I'm gonna say under.
I'll say under 2 because I trust bits.
I was gonna say, I think it's 43. It's 42 or 43.
I thought it was in the mid 40 area, but I'm not really sure
let's
exactly.
see. 47. Ooh, under. So I guess I was a little further off, but we all got the point. So
Kind of.
we got it.
I didn't
We all
actually
got
know
it.
the answer.
This fucking movie.
I mean, I thought I knew the answer, but I was wrong. Maybe there's different prefectures I wasn't thinking. Anyway,
this
47.
movie. This next question. This movie can go to hell.
Also from Hiro UE 135. How long is the movie The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya? Over or under 150 minutes?
Miserable.
Say under?
Oh my god.
I think it's under as well. I think it's over 3 hours long.
Wait,
I thought
what?
Suzumiya was.
I'm
like
gonna say
100
I'm gonna say over. I think it's like 2 hours and 36 minutes or something.
Oh, sorry. That's
Is
what I'm
it?
saying. Yeah, it's over. I thought it was like over 3 hours long. So I meant over. More than
I don't
150.
remember. I watched it not too long ago, last year sometime. Well, I'll stick with my under because I don't remember. I thought it
I
was
think
like 140 minutes, but
I think it's
or not
over.
minutes, an hour and 40 minutes. What I meant.
I think it's close to the number though that he presented.
It is over 162 minutes.
Oh, shit, damn.
So maybe I
That is-
overestimated it a bit because it felt like over 3 hours.
That is fucking ridiculously long. All right, update on the scores. Mitsuki's at 9, Mandy's at 7, Mason's at 6. So,
Damn.
I'm feeling pretty skippy right now, and
Wonder
I
if
like
there's, like, a
and I like
director's
peanut
cut.
butter a lot.
Mason's always like, no, I'm gonna be right on these.
No,
if I have
yeah.
to make up the answer myself.
No, 162. I didn't see any extended version either.
That's way too fucking long for any movie, really. That's
To be fair,
that's
it's
stupid.
I love that movie. It's a good movie. But
Is
you
it
know.
my turn?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
This one is from Klog W. In the Japanese version of the 1997 episode of DBZ titled Return of Goku, what does the scouter report Goku's power level to be? Over 190,000. I don't know. I've never seen DBZ.
Is this a trick question? Because
It is 9,000.
I mean, the meme is it's over 9,000.
Yeah, I might say over.
But
Do I listen to Mitz? I feel like he would know.
like that's the meme. That's the
I
whole
think
joke.
I feel like it's a trick question, but you can't really give trick questions in this game. It's got to be over or under. So, I mean, the scouter doesn't have numbers on it. It has some like fake language, but Vegeta does say, well, oh, he
in the
says it
Japanese
in the
version?
Japanese version.
So maybe he says a different number.
Hmm.
I'm gonna
I
say
mean,
under.
I'm gonna say over. If the translator can't even translate like Q-sen, like for 9,000, like what are they? What good are they? I'm gonna say over.
Yeah, Nanasen.
Yeah, whatever.
I feel like I have to
that's
say
se-
over because if I fall for the trick, whatever. But if I'm just dumb and say under because I think and overthink myself, like the 2 poison antidote guy, I'm saying over. I'm saying over.
I'm gonna say under just because I want to be different. The answer is, oh shoot, here we go. God, I can't get it. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
8,000 under. Only the
Wow.
English has the famous over 9,000 line, of course. Over 8,000 could mean over 9,000 too. So really, either answer could be technically correct. Well,
Maybe the guy just misread the scouter. You know, we don't actually know what the scouter reports it to be. We just know what the guy reports the scouter to report. So
Yeah, I think Mandy gets this one.
I mean, she definitely does.
a
but I don't
person
like
who's
it.
never seen an episode of TVC. Let's
I
see
like
if I can
this.
get the next one too.
I like this next question better.
This one is from Hond Shap. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. What is Goku's highest known power level during his first fight with Vegeta?
That's like one of the
Over
best.
or under
Go ahead.
30,000. Sorry.
That's like one of the best fights in the whole series. Oh man, that's when that fight with Vegeta and Goku on Earth is like. I don't want to say that's like when DBZ's at its best, but that's like some fucking good shit. That's some good shonen shit right there. Wow. I'm gonna say
I'll say over. 'Cause I don't know.
I don't know, but 30,000 feels pretty high for that point in the series, so I'm gonna say
You said it
under.
was an epic fight, so I'm gonna assume
It's epic, but I feel like the scouter would blow up.
Mm.
Actually,
But it
well,
doesn't talk
okay.
about the scouter. I'm going to go over as well. I'm going over as well. It feels right.
I'm gonna say under because Vegeta crushes his scouter when he sees it over 9,000. So I don't even know how they would read it. The only other combatant that could even have an opinion would be King Kai, and I don't think he talks in power levels. So I'm gonna say under.
Clearly, it must be known at some point. So what's the
Sorry.
answer?
The answer is 21,000 under.
I'd love to know how they came up with that though.
Goku, get
Yeah.
good. Come on.
Come
We're letting
on,
you down.
Goku. I thought this was an epic fight. You can't even get to 30,000.
It's fucking epic. Am I the only one that gets that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Dragon Ball. All right.
This
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. This next one is from an anonymous. We don't have
Yeah.
a name. How many different EDs are used in Mawaru Penguin Drum?
Good
Over
Lord.
or under 4? I'm going to say over because I remember there being a ton of EDs.
I'll let Mitz go for this one.
This fucking series isn't that long. How many do you need? I'm gonna.
It's definitely not the Monogatari series. That one also has a
No,
ton of EDs.
Katana Gatari takes the cake with a
True.
different ending song for all 12 episodes.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say under. I don't even know how. Like, what do you have to change every like 4 episodes? I'm gonna say under.
It's over. It's a lot. I have the soundtrack, and it's amazing. There's so many good bangers. It's like 10 or something. It's so good.
What?
Let's see the answer. 8. There's 8 different ones.
8. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
9 is the alternate ED1 is considered.
That's crazy.
Nice.
Rain Reality in our Twitch is asking a question about whether or not Nappa was there in the fight with Goku and Vegeta, and you'll recall that Vegeta gets mad about Nappa and throws him into the sky and blows him up. So he's definitely dead. He dies. Yajirobe's hiding and behind like a rock. King Kai's like psychically watching the fight, and then Gohan and Krillin like come limping in later when they're like from the last fight that they were in. So am I up?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Robert X Hunter. Oh boy. How many times is Dio said in JoJo part 1 through 3? Oh my god. Over or under 400? How does that even know?
I know the answer to this.
How do you know the answer to this?
There's a YouTube video for it. It was really funny.
That's insane. I'm going to say over because if they made a YouTube video, it's probably
It's
probably
over.
outlandish.
Yeah, it's
I
gotta be
remember
over.
the exact number, but it was definitely over.
And this.
The answer-
mild spoilers. This is not including. I'm not going to say it actually.
The answer is
I'll say
450.
over.
450. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, for those listening at home, the current score is I have Mitsuki has 11, Mandy has 10, and Mason has 8. So it's still pretty close here. Anybody's game. Place your bets. Next up is from Anonymous. How many Noi Tamina TV programs, including live action, excluding films, have been produced?
Oh.
Over or under 62? Wow.
I'm feeling pretty confident about this one, so I'm not going to say anything.
I feel like it must.
Maybe over?
I feel like it must be under.
Really? I was thinking including live action.
62 is a lot.
That's a lot. I'm gonna just say over so I could be different.
I think it's over.
I'm gonna say under.
think part of my mission is to watch all the Noitamina shows, and there's quite a lot of them.
And I was thinking, and including live actions, isn't there quite a bit of those too?
There's maybe 20. I'm not too sure.
I'm gonna say over.
All right, I'm under. Let's see. The answer is. Well, he wrote 72 and then he put under. So I guess maybe he meant over.
Over, yeah.
So, all right. Oh boy, the race is tightening.
Don't call it a comeback.
And one more here by me here. Swellest wrote in Run with the Wind, Haiji's dream is to form a cross-country team to run in the Hakone Ekiden team relay. How long is this race? Over or under 200 kilometers or roughly 124-ish miles?
It's been so long, I don't remember the exact number. I'm gonna say over.
I feel like each leg was half a marathon. So I'm going to say over. But I should know this because we had the whole Discord running club, which was training at one point to do this. So I'm going to say over.
I just remember it's a lot, so I'm just going to say over.
I'm going to say under. I think that 142 miles is roughly 10 half marathons, and I don't remember them having 10 people. So
124 miles.
Yeah, I'm going to say under. The answer is over 218 kilometers or 218 miles. And then he gives a source, which we don't really need. Mitsuki has run dry, and Mandi has taken the lead.
I had a 50-50 chance with a lot of these.
With all of them.
We got 3 questions left. First of the 3 is Cork Mars, who say, how many servants are there in Fate 0?
Oh, God,
over
I have no
or
idea.
under 6?
It has to be over. They have a shit ton of servants, right?
I think it's over. I think it's 7. Because I'm assuming it's just the first season of Fate. But I don't know if any more are introduced later that might trip me up. So I'm going to say over.
I'm almost 100% sure it's over. I think it's 8.
Didn't we watch this?
Some time ago. Fate 0 is pretty old, but yeah, I think it's 8.
And the answer is 7. Over.
There's just one more? I thought there was a shit ton.
I think each person gets 1. And there's, I don't know. There we go. Next up, another one by Gaston. How old was Netero? Why is there all the Hunter x Hunter ones? Dang it.
There's 2! What are you talking about?
All of them. How old was Netero when he went to train in the mountains in Hunter x Hunter? Over or under 50?
I'm going to say under.
So he's definitely older than 50 for most of the time we see him in the show, but
That's correct.
A flashback where he would train for like how we learned to get his powers, right?
There is a flashback, and he stands in the snow for 2 years and all this crap. Yeah.
Punching.
I'm gonna say under because how old could he fucking be? I don't know.
I feel like it's got to be under.
Well, I think Netero in the current timeline was over 100 years old. Because you live longer with Nen.
Mm-hmm.
I know the answer. I think he was 46, so definitely under. It's either 43 or 46.
Yeah, so I'm going under.
And the answer?
The answer, 46. So a shade under.
All right,
yeah, you get strong.
We have
what's the scores going to the final stretch?
We have one more official question and then 5 more that I put in here as bonuses because they didn't follow the instructions, but I wanted them to have their questions anyway. Currently, the score is Mandi has 14, Mitsuki has 13, Mason has 12. So it's very close.
Okay. So this question could make a tie between the two of you, and you could go into overtime with the bonus question.
We just had a question about this. This next one.
In DBZ, Vegeta exclaims concern when Goku's power is over or under 10,000. So that seems like the exact same.
Unless they're trying to play a trick on us, it's got to be under.
So I say we throw this question
Wasn't
out.
it 8,000? Didn't we just
No,
cover
because
that?
the answer is 9,000. So even doesn't. I think it's too close to one another to the same question that we had. That
Yeah.
I don't think this should decide it. So I say we go into one question, just for you two to decide.
Well, Mandy's ahead. Let's just
who
keep
wins.
playing through these
Okay.
questions, these next 5.
Okay, let's just do the bonus ones.
Some people didn't give the over or under. Like you had to play this game. You have to say like over or under 5 or whatever. So these next 5 questions were from people who didn't give a number. So we're basically just gonna guess at the answer. So I'm gonna write.
God.
So I'm gonna write our answers in on the document here on Twitch, and whoever gets the closest gets a point. How about that?
Okay, that works.
All right, go ahead, Mason.
First up by Yotaru Vegeta writes, how many members of the Wild Wild Pussycats are there?
Fuck.
This is from My Hero Academia.
Is that the one with the buff cat?
I don't know anything about My Hero.
Isn't there 4?
I don't know if there's 3 or 5.
I thought there was 4. I don't know. I think
I'm gonna say 3 to not choose the same number as you.
I'll say 5. I don't fucking know.
I think you might actually be right. I think it might actually be 3.
We'll find
Now that I
out.
think
The
about it.
answer is 4. No, Mandy is correct. She gets the point.
That's crazy. I remembered them because wasn't there a big buff one? I was like,
Yeah.
buff cat. Yeah,
Yeah.
buff cat.
It's like the it's like the kawaii metal bands with like
Yeah.
the 3
Mhm.
cute and then the one super buff dude.
Yeah.
So there you go. So give Mandy the point for that one.
Mandy has been given.
The next one comes from Moral. How tall is the wall in Attack on Titan?
I don't have a clue.
There's multiple walls, but
Yeah.
let's say
Really tall.
I'm gonna say 50 meters.
I'll
have a
say
clue.
75 meters.
I don't have a clue.
I don't even know
62.
62 meters. Let's see what units we got. The answer is not in the spreadsheet.
Great.
How
Oh, it's not?
tall is the wall in Attack on Titan?
That'll come right up.
It says about 50 meters. Of
Oh
course,
my
use
God!
result
I
on
am the
Google.
smartest man alive.
Nice.
We'll give Mitz the point for that one.
Oh wow! I can't believe I
Next.
got that shit.
Next up is Super Fist 59. How many pieces of classical music are there in Your Lie in April?
Oh god, I have
I'm
no
going to
idea.
say 13.
I assume we mean actually. I assume when we say classical, we mean like romantic period, classical period, baroque period, etc. I assume we mean all of those and not literally just from the people. No, I'm being
I would
too
assume
nerdy.
so. I would
Everything
assume
that
so.
people think is old ass music. I'll say.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's gotta be less. I'm gonna say 8.
I don't have a clue.
Just
8
guess right in the
sounds
middle.
good.
Can't guess the same.
You can't pick the same
okay,
one as me.
10.
10. So we got 8, 10, and 13. The answer is not in the spreadsheet.
No shit.
Superfist, are you watching lives? Save us. What's the answer?
Oh man. All right.
Look it up.
Do the next one, and I'll see if the spreadsheet.
Actually, really quick, I'm going to take myself out of the running. I'm going to make sure there's answers for these next two. There are not.
Okay.
But we'll do them regardless because I think we can look them up, at least one of them. Moon Cleric asks, how many Clo cards are there in the Card Captor Sakura anime?
Oh, I mean.
So
I
I'm
mean,
assuming it's not the number of cards in the deck, but the number that we see used, because I think there's more cards, right, than just what was in the show.
it depends. Well, they said anime. The manga was shorter, and I think there were only like 20 in the. And then the anime, they extended it and threw in a bunch of new ones. And I think they did a thing where she lost all the cards, and at the end they're like, she got them all back during spring break or something.
Exactly.
What I remember. And then I
Exactly.
don't know if they're counting clear card as well, because clear card they added more because some of the cards transformed.
Whatever
So-
number sounds good to you. I've looked up the answer, so just shout it out.
I'm gonna say 100.
Oh no, there's definitely not 100. I think maybe 56.
So according to the fandom, it says there are 19 cards in the manga and
Oh, it was
50
one off.
and 53 in the anime.
I was so close.
So I mean, I think we'll.
Damn, that's not very many fucking cards.
But I want to know how many like actually showed up in the anime. Like
there
how
was
many?
a lot. I can't remember.
All right, let's just call it here because I can't win, and the next one we're never gonna be able to look up. So
How many arms are chopped off and bleached?
yeah, it's impossible to look that up. Anyway, guys, thank you. Thanks for submitting all the questions. It's we actually have enough to play another one of these later, I think. So maybe some months from now we will return to the game of over under if we enjoyed it. So
Chad also said the answer to the music question was 13.
Oh, was it really?
Mhm.
So I got that dead on.
You got that
you
one?
were
I
right
got
on.
that. I guess
Damn.
13.
Well done.
And to be fair, people who did submit it probably did include their answers, and we just maybe like mess up the formatting when we
It could have
brought it
been.
over.
It
So
very well could have been.
if we did that to your question, we're not blaming you, but
Yeah, of course. not.
nonetheless, thank you all for contributing.
Yeah, it's fun.
I had fun with this. I lost miserably, but I had fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that'd be cool.
we were all in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And we all got
So-
over 10, so huzzah.
Yeah, we all got an extra bonus point because we were right.
Exactly.
So, we are not going to go on our break before we come back with our review of Sing to Me Yesterday. The question for you is, Shinako receives an eraser in school in the anime Sing Yesterday for Me. As part of a flashback, what was written on the inside of the eraser? And if you're a big Killua fan, you know already, so take a good guess. We'll see you after the break.
Hey, all you anime addicts, Mitsuki is back one final time, and I'm bringing you your anime news. Bloomberg News has confirmed that the Nintendo Switch is going to get an upgraded model in 2021, maybe to try to compete a little better with the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox that are going to be coming out pretty soon here. They revealed that the Nintendo Switch is going to have new games in 2021 and that the technical specifications, though they haven't been finalized, are going to be likely ramped up to, quote, have more computing power and 4K high-definition graphics, and that the games that will be compatible are going to be accessing a wide range of players from casual to hardcore gamers. So if you're a big fan of the Switch, that will be just around the corner for you. Of course, the Switch has been a big success and has sold 5.7 million units in the first quarter of the current fiscal year for Nintendo, which is up quite a lot from the last year. So if you're a Nintendo fan, the Switch is doing really well, and it might just be getting better. Next up in the news, Fate's Stay Night Heaven Feels Trilogy third film has sold about $10 million worth of tickets pretty much right away, which is reaching that 1 billion yen milestone even faster than the second film in the series. So if you're a fan of Fate's Stay Night Heaven's Feel, it looks like it's just about as popular as it's ever been. The film opened in Japan on August 15th, debuted at number 1, and did really well on the opening weekend, selling about 474 million yen worth of tickets, or about $4.5 million. So Aniplex had originally scheduled the film for March 28th before, of course, it was delayed due to COVID. So good for the Fate franchise, continuing on to be very successful and popular amongst just about all anime fans. And next up in the news, Kakegurui, the live-action film, is getting a sequel in 2021, currently titled just plain old Eiga Kakegurui Part 2, which more or less translates to Kakegurui Movie Part 2. The cast is going to be returning from the original film, as will Tsutomu Hanabusa to direct and do the screenplay. So that's pretty exciting for those of you that are fans of Kakegurui. You're going to get even more of the live action. The 10-episode live-action show premiered in Japan in January of 2018. Netflix is streaming the series outside of Japan, and a second season premiered in March of 2019. The first live-action film then opened following that in May of 2019. So the story follows Hyako Private Academy, an institution for the privileged with a very peculiar curriculum. You see, when your sons and daughters are the wealthiest of the wealthy, it's not athletic prowess or book smarts to keep you ahead. It's reading your opponent, the art of the deal. What better way to hone your skills than a rigorous curriculum of gambling? Oh, and all the students are pretty much insane. So, if you're a fan of Kakegurui, that synopsis coming from Yen Press. So, you can enjoy the sequel coming out here pretty soon. Rounding us out today, an entry in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine is going to be coming to an end. In the 39th issue of Shonen Jump, it was announced that Date Tsunehiro's Time Paradox Ghost Rider manga is going to be ending. Date launched the manga in the 24th issue of Shonen Jump back on May 11th. And the first compiled volume was made on August 4th, and the second and final compiled volume is going to ship in October. If you're a fan of this property, it's not always a bad thing that the manga's ending. Sometimes that leads to animes being made, so you can keep your fingers crossed for that. Manga Plus describes the series as, on a cold and stormy night, I decide to give up on my dream, but lightning strikes, and now I have an issue of Shonen Jump. From the future, Teppei Sasaki is a passionate rookie manga artist who dreams of getting a series in Shonen Jump, and one day he gets a copy of Jump from 10 years in the future. Is it all a coincidence or is it fate? Whatever the case, destiny is about to change. Time warps. Destinies intersected for a tomorrow that never was meant to be. The future of Jump is here. Very hard to understand synopsis, but sounds like a pretty interesting property that could be made into an anime. Who the heck knows? We'll have to see. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break, and now back to the podcast right now. Chiaki, what's that?
Mitsugi, what are you doing looking at my computer screen? Get out of here.
Was that a...
No.
I think it was.
No, it wasn't.
Come on, Chiaki. We've all played a hentai game before. It's nothing to be ashamed.
Will you just get out of here?
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
If you tell me where you got it.
Really, Mitsugi?
Yeah, you know, I bought hentai games before in Akihabara, but they're all in Japanese. I can barely get halfway through them before I get frustrated and have to quit. I can't understand a word that's on the screen.
Well, maybe you should study more.
Plus, that one looks really high quality. I mean, look at all the artwork on her.
Looking at my computer screen again.
Fine, but you get my point.
All right, if it makes you go away, I got it off JList.com.
JList.com? Don't they just have figures and bentos and stuff?
Well, yeah, but they also have some more adult things, too. They have a huge library of English translated visual novels, and yeah, not all of them are adult. Some are like Steins Gate, and they're always bringing out more. But if you're into the adult stuff, they also have some other things that, well, may help you enjoy those visual novels.
Whoa, I'll have to check it out now.
Great. Go to JList.com and look at all the adult things you want on your computer, because mine is busy, so if you'll excuse me.
Right. Don't worry, I won't bother you again. I'll be too busy looking at JList.com. Welcome back to the podcast. When we left you, we had a trivia question for you. Shinako receives an eraser in school. In the anime Sing Yesterday For Me, as part of a flashback, what was written inside the eraser? You know, you people write on the erasers in pencil and shit when you're a kid. And it was written, Baka!
Kiloa's favorite phrase. There's also a video about how many times Killa says Baka in the entire series. That's
Mandi,
also really funny.
Is there a fan art? Because obviously Killua has the chains, right?
It's
Like
Kurapika.
Oh, I'm saying Kurapika. That's what it is. Never mind.
I'm very insulted right now.
I heard the K, and I think I just immediately thought of a joke, and then I wanted it to be Kurapika to make the joke work, and then I realized my error. Apologies. Moving on.
Let's just pretend Killua is cosplaying as Kurapika.
Okay, I was gonna say his chains should say Baka across the knuckles. That would have been funny. That's the image that came to me in my head before I realized who it was. Anyway.
Yep. If you guys were thinking of supporting the podcast now that we are now that J-List has departed, well, I thank you for even thinking about it. But let me tell you that right now is a better time than ever to support the podcast. We have our exclusive member-only RSS feed that's going to let you access all of our extra content, the after parties, the hobby addicts, the hentai episodes, the what have you, on all of your favorite mobile apps. It works on Podcast Addict, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcast app, Castbox, Overcast, Downcast, just freaking too many podcast apps. But whatever you're using, chances are it works. So you can get all of your naughtiness and all of your video game talk and everything else that you want over on your favorite mobile app. When you sign up, you get that member RSS feed, which you access from the top page of the website. And of course, all the additional podcast episodes we have for you, they total out to like 80 cents a month or something. It's a pretty good deal. So how about the podcast, and you'll get that feed so you can tap into your enter it into your Apple Podcast app or whatever you use. And of course, we appreciate you very much for that. And now it's time for a 5-star review.
It's time for iTunes review.
This one comes to us today from Solarum Bra, and they say, stonks go up.
They go up!
And they don't come back down. Sometimes they come back
They
down.
have to come
Anyway,
back down eventually.
That's how it works. And they write, what can I say? These gentlemen and lady are my goddamn boys. Not only is this an exemplary podcast, but the community they've created on their Discord server is also of great note. Join it, by the way, you pleb. I agree. I've been listening to the gang for a few years now.
Just
after listening to
do it!
so many other anime podcasts out there, I can tell you with certainty that this is the one you were looking for. They've got a concise schedule, engaging content, an excellent split in opinions. Oh, do we ever? Stay tuned. I may not agree with some of the hosts,
Oh,
but they've
no.
all got valid points, and I respect everyone for them and their honesty. You've got to find opinions that challenge yours and open your eyes and ears to new anime anyway. You've also got the option of listening to their other content as well, which you can do by becoming a contributing member on their website. It is worth every penny you spend to keep these mad lads going for another decade. Join the Discord, all caps as well. Seriously, if you ever felt alone in your hobbies, then you'll feel right at home there, where you can chat it up with like-minded, awesome people such as yourself. Much love, Punish Didango. P.S. I logged into iTunes for the first time in over 5 years to write this review, and boy, do we thank you for it. So, man, that was quite the journey, but it was super well written, and I appreciate it immensely.
Well, my nipples are hard. All right.
But if you want to be a savior of the podcast, always appreciate it. Going to iTunes, leaving the 5-star review. Doesn't need to be that lengthy, and we'll read it on the show so we can all have good vibes.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag.
So if you would like to submit a mailbag to us, you can go to aaapodcast.com, and there's a mailbag button. You can just give us any question that you would like us to answer. And I'll just go ahead and do the first one. The first one is from Otaku Cop. Though it's hard to argue that KyoAni may be the best studio when it comes to beautiful animation, I present that if I want a fight scene, UFO Table is tops for that. Their work in the Fate universe and Demon Slayer speaks for itself. The battle effects, fight choreography, and musical choices create a perfect combination that is never disappointing. I'm going to say this was probably originally an anime argument, maybe?
Could have been.
Yeah, I'd say
I don't
you're right.
remember.
I
Go
agree.
ahead.
I think so. You're probably right.
If I'm being picky, I would say Studio Bones probably has the best fight choreo of all the anime studios. Their like hand-to-hand fighting is pretty much the best part about their works, in my opinion. But as far as like, I mean, just looking at the what they did with Demon Slayer, just the grand epicness of a lot of UFO Table stuff is, I mean, can't go wrong. So, good idea.
What Bones one were you thinking of as an example? I'm trying to, I just don't remember.
I think the Darker and Black choreo fights were pretty good. I think a lot of the Fullmetal Alchemist fights were pretty good. I think.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm trying to remember. I'll look it up really quick now. But I remember always being really elevated. And of course, they did Sword and the Stranger.
Oh gosh, it's been so long since I've seen that. I don't remember.
All right. Next mailbag is from Yotoru Vegeta. With HBO Max becoming the 11th billionth streaming service. Yeah, remember when cord cutting was supposed to save money? Exactly. What impact do you think this will have on anime? Crunchyroll has a huge catalog of anime, but it's proved difficult at times to get people to watch the damn thing. Is having some anime on HBO Max as good or better than having it on Netflix? I mean, I mean, HBO Max can't even have remotely close to the following that Netflix has got. I don't know. This is just companies competing against each other. Like someone goes, "Oh, I have anime," and then there's like a million people where that matters to them, and then some other service goes, "Oh, we have to get anime too because we can't be outbeaten," and then before you know it, everyone's got anime. So, I don't know. I don't really think it matters much.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rewind a bit. Bones also did Noragami and Mob Psycho.
Oh yeah. I don't know if Noragami. Oh, I forgot about Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho, absolutely. Noragami had some good fights, but I wouldn't really say it's better than UFO Table. But Mob Psycho, of course, has amazing fight scenes.
All good fight scenes, nonetheless. And with that, we will get to our review of Sing Yesterday for Me.
I'm not singing it
This
again.
was passed by Enzo in episode 521 of the podcast. You can watch this on VRV, Crunchyroll, and YouTube, I believe, in some countries. This was a spring 2020 show, if I believe. Yeah, I think it's spring 2020. And essentially, it's about a group of people, mainly our main character named Rukiko Uozumi, who is kind of a college graduate, but he's not really sure what he wants to do. He's kind of unambitious and just kind of resigns himself to kind of wasting away at a bunch of part-time jobs. His life of just working at a late night convenience store is interrupted when a girl is kind of into him, interested in him, drops by and kind of befriends him at the same time that a longtime college friend and crush, Shinako, has moved back into town. And kind of this amalgamation of love interests and relationships in his life kind of stirs his world up, and kind of how he moves forward and advances and forms these relationships are kind of what drives the plot of the show. So it's a romance show. It's done by Studio Dogakoba, who did Nozaki-kun, Plastic Memories, and Humoto Umaru-chan. Directed by Yoshiyuki Fujiwara, who did New Game and Plastic Memories. And I think that's the core stuff about it. So I'll let you guys start off. What were your initial expectations going into the show?
Honestly, I hope this doesn't sound bad, but Enzo tends to pass a certain type of show. So I pretty much had a feeling. I mean, I figured it would be like a very emotional, actually, I thought this was like a music show when I first heard it, and I was like, oh, Enzo, past the music show. We had the word sing in the title, so I thought it was going to be like about a guy. When it first started, I was like, oh, this is going to be about a guy who doesn't know what he's doing with his life, and then he becomes a band member and he finds his way. That's what I thought this was going to be, but I don't know. I figured it'd be like a slice of life or a drama of some kind.
I also, for some reason, thought this was going to be a music anime, but I'm not just focused on music, but I was assuming it was going to be like a romance with maybe singing involved because of the name. So I was really surprised when that was not had nothing to do with the series at all. But yeah, I was expecting it to. I heard some people mentioning the first couple episodes were really good, that it was a more mature romance series. So I wasn't sure what to expect because I'm very iffy on romances. It depends. I usually need something else in the romance show for me to be interested, like whether it's like a fantasy story or something like that. So yeah, realistic romance stories are always a little iffy for me, so I didn't know what to expect.
There was a singing main character. It was Kinoshita, his compadre at the convenience store. He got all the music, but
sure.
So I knew going into this was a romance show. I know Enzo passed this romance show, And Enzo and I tend to have a similar sort of feeling towards romance shows. We kind of have the same look that we like. I know Mitz came out of the gate pretty negative on this one before I started watching it. And I know that Mitsuki and I tend to differ a lot in how we view our romance shows. And so I kind of went in thinking, who knows what I'm going to think? And I feel like a big thing about romance shows as a whole is that, you know, there's a lot that people draw from their own experiences. Like if there's a giant robot, interstellar, sci-fi, fantasy action show, like none of us have ever done that. None of us have a lot to go from. So we're coming into a show like that on the same playing field, whereas romance shows, you know, a lot of one's own experiences can drastically color how you view this thing. So that's kind of how I went into the show, expecting just who knows what. But spoiler-free recommendation. Let's spin through those in the same order. Mitz.
So one day I was watching this. I was on the treadmill at the gym. You know, I'm still cutting, so I'm like walking on the treadmill before I lift. And it's like I was watching this, and I just wasn't signed into Verve or whatever, and it kept throwing ads at me, and I was like, you know, I could sign in, but I'm on the treadmill and I'm bouncing around, and fuck it, because I don't want to have to type on the keyboard. And I was watching it, and I was already hating this anime, and it literally played a LASIK commercial. And I was like, this fucking thing is telling me, bro, you're fucking blind watching this shit. You need to get some fucking glasses because this anime is dog shit. And that's kind of how I feel. I don't want to sound like that negative, but I mean, like, this anime was so fucking boring that it was like I would watch it for 4 minutes and then check my phone. Like to see how close I was to finishing the episode, because absolutely nothing happens in this fucking show. Nothing happens. I mean, it's a drama, I get it, but my God, there are dramas that are way better than this thing. Like, there's endless selection for you to pick from. That you could pick anything. We've covered them in the last year that are just eons better. You know, go watch Maidens in Your Savage Season, or you know, His Inner Circumstances, or Nodame Cantabile, or one of those other shows. This thing, in a word, I would say it's dull. And so there's no way I would recommend this. It has no audience.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I didn't enjoy this at all. I thought the first couple episodes were kind of interesting because there was a like one of the characters I found interesting because of her past and like past experiences, but then man, these characters are supposed to be adults and they don't act like adults. And it's frustrating when there's so much just emotional manipulation with a character that is grieving, and I absolutely hated it. And I know it's a drama, and you know, if it had resolved in a way that was satisfying, I would have been able to, you know, if the journey to that was worth it, I would have been like, oh, okay, I understand. This is like characters do shitty things just like real people do in the real life. But it ended in a place that was so unsatisfying. I absolutely hated the ending. I hated every character in the show. And it was, man, now I understand why so many shows have teenagers in them, because the adult lives are boring as hell.
Yeah.
No, I didn't enjoy this at all, and I don't recommend it. I think there are far better romance series, far better dramas that you can get into. I just this one didn't jive with me at all.
I went into the show with all the negativity that I heard about it and wishy-washiness, and I was like, okay, when is this show not going to click with me? And I watched episode 1, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I watched episode 2, and then 3, and I just didn't feel disappointed by this show. Like, I never had to suspend my disbelief for like some of the weird things that happened. It just felt like it was plausible. I never had to be like, oh, there's no way that would happen.
Girls wander around with crows all the time.
It wasn't ever past the point of implausibility. It never broke the realistic of the romance and the relationships that they were going through. This is a very slow show. There is, you know, and a lot of times, picture like the Planet Earth show where they like plant a seed and you see it growing with like the constellations whirling overhead. That show is not a quick romance like that. This show is, the seeds have already been planted by the time we come, and there's been roots throughout the ground. Like, there's a very nebulous reason why the characters feel the way they do. You kind of just have to be like, okay, I guess they like one another. We don't know why. We just have to go in with that info. And the story is just a look of the plant as it slowly breaks through the soil on top. There is not a lot of action or much that happens, but it is a slow burning look at the development of relationships and that understanding. And I got similar vibes to it from like Tsukigakure, just because, and a little bit of After the Rain, just put in the
That
blender.
explains it. I
and
hated both of those two.
And it looks so good. Like, is this a game-changing show? No. Is it a must recommend? No. But I thought it was solid, and I enjoyed my time watching it. I didn't have any problems with it.
Keep in mind, Mason also likes it when people don't hook up in series, so that explains a lot.
That is part of it. But
He hates romance, so there you go.
I vibed with all the characters. I understood their motivations, and they didn't act in a way that made me frustrated with the impracticality of it all. So this is very much a show for certain people, and I would say if you're not vibing with it after 2 episodes, don't try to force yourself through or push through it. It's very clearly what it is from the get-go. But I think with that, we can move to our spoiler discussion.
Spoilers
So-
are coming. Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah, so do you guys want to start with plot or characters?
Jesus Christ.
I won't drag you guys through this too long. We'll be brief.
Yeah, let's
don't
talk
worry.
about how Rikuo, the main character, is the worst guy in history. I
He's-
fucking hated this guy so much.
Is he worse than Midoku? Okay, over under Midoku.
Okay, no, okay. He's better than Midoku, but in a different way.
Just barely though.
Just barely. This guy, ooh, man. Both of the men in this were just so like both of the main male characters were so awful. I hated both of them so much. First, this guy is stringing along girls. He's a fucking adult. Talk to them for God's sake.
I can't
Just
stand it.
like how many times he goes back and forth between them, and the other guy is emotionally manipulating a woman who is grieving over the loss of his brother because she was with his brother as that was her partner, and he's like, because he looks like her brother, and he's like trying to manipulate her into being with him. I was like, these are the worst fucking characters.
Listen.
I hated them so much. I was so angry every episode.
Listen, I don't want to like. I know there's not really much suspension and disbelief in the show compared to a lot of anime, but I just don't find these. I either don't relate to the people in the anime, or and listen, I have a pretty fucked up relationship history, but I still don't relate.
Same.
I don't relate, and I don't even understand how these people get into these scenarios. Like, first of all, the one girl, Haru, who by the way is the only worthwhile character in this anime. Haru,
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
You mean
absolutely.
Goth Mayushi from Steins Gate?
Yes, exactly. She has a friggin' crow with her. That's bizarre. And then Rikuo, it's so infuriating to find these people do exist in real life, but it's very infuriating that when people they just can't communicate and yet they're like diving deeply into like all these different relationship sorts of scenarios. And then there's Ko, who I just don't find it very realistic that a girl who was more or less like with his brother, like he's gonna fall in love with the girl, and like was in love with her since he was like 5, like in the flashback.
That was super weird.
People like little 5-year-olds don't have romantic feelings, okay? And you know what? 5-year-olds don't have womb memories either. But you know what? This is anime, right? But like that aside, there's no freaking way. This show is supposed to be all realistic. Oh, it feels realistic. It's about relationships. Ro, his name is, which is a bizarre name. Ro is like, oh, I hung out with you a lot when I was like fucking doing coloring books, and so I'm in love with you for my whole rest of my life, even though I clearly should be able to separate the fact that you're more or less my family. And I don't. What was she married to his brother? Something.
I don't know if they're married or just engaged or
I didn't think they
together.
were married.
But
And-
they were definitely in love and like
and-
together.
And honestly, I don't know why Haru loves Rikuo. He's boring. Can't
She picked up
fucking
his ticket once.
what the fuck though? Can't talk. He can't talk. He's got not a lot going for him. He's stringing her along and dicking her around with this other girl, Shinako, who she's also not a terrible character just because she's like a victim in the whole damn anime. But like,
I felt so bad for her.
and then like at the end of it, ultimate spoiler here. Did anybody else just like facepalm when Rikuo was like,
Yes.
I love you, Haru?
Yes.
It's like, what?
The entire
What the fuck?
fucking show, he is like trying to get
Oh
her to
my
be with
God.
him, stringing along poor fucking Haru. And then at the end, he's like, actually, I don't love you. I love Haru, who I never fucking talked to in this whole fucking anime.
who I've been repeatedly hurting. She's like, oh, I know I've been waiting outside in the rain for like 14 years to see you, but I brought you tea, and you know what? Even though I'm gonna sit here in your living room and you're not gonna like even talk to me or treat me like I'm human, it's enough to be in the boy that I love's living room for like 5 minutes.
So frustrating. What adults go, oh, we can't be friends, but I can't be nice to you either. I'm like, what?
Well, Haru's barely an adult. She's like 18. So in the world of like dating and life and relationships and all the fucked up mistakes that we all make, she's like barely even begun. But I think Rikuo is like quite a bit older, like 20, 25 maybe or something. And
I'd say 5 or 6 years older.
Wow. And
it was frustrating, and I know that I'm totally cool with characters that do awful things, like awful characters in shows, as long as the result is something that feels good. Like I'm not saying that like because that one character was definitely emotionally manipulating her into being with him, which is so frustrating. But if it had a good resolution to like at the end of the series, that would have been worth it for me. Because I'm not saying that, I mean, shitty people exist in the real world. That is realistic. And I know people do that. But the ending was so unsatisfying where she ended up with him. I'm like, what? After all that? No, I'm sorry.
I liked it all. I didn't think anyone here was malicious. I thought they were all generally well-intentioned and looking out for themselves in a very realistically selfish way. I think the way that the show portrayed them with the animation, the shifting of weight, the hand movements, the posturing, the vocal performance, they all imbued all these characters with so much life. And I think Rikuo's story is, you have to love yourself before you can love others. And I didn't feel like he was stringing them along as so much as he was just, like waiting at the surface. Like he didn't want to dive too deep because he didn't feel confident with himself to take the plunge with another character. And he still had to find within himself the confidence, the job, his own.
That is stringing them along if you're not talking to them. All he had to say was, actually, I'm kind of interested in this other woman. Could you stop?
But he didn't know what he wanted. He wasn't like, oh, I definitely like you. I'm just wait. Like that's the definition of stringing somebody along. He was very clear that he did not like these people and was not ready for a relationship.
You know what?
It was Haru's persistence that had her. She was stringing herself along.
You know what Rikuo reminds me of? A guy who needs a relationship to feel fulfilled. And so he goes after Shinako, but because he's not entirely sure that Shinako will go for him, he uses Haru as like a safety net to fall into if Shinako dumps him. And that's more or less what happens.
I disagree completely. I think he was struggling in life. He had a go nowhere job, and when he was pursued by Haru, he's like, why is this a thing? I don't feel comfortable in this relationship. I still have feelings for other people, and I just am not in a place where I think I'm a worthwhile mate. And he had to take it upon himself, being inspired by Shinako, to get the full-time job and have some trust in his own ability and worthiness before he pursued. And he chased down this, mythological Shinako of the romance that he thought he wanted after all these years, from looking at her through college and being with her, but just never having the guts and manifestation to go forward with it. And when he finally did get there, he realizes that this is not what he actually wanted. And the reflection on all this and all of the experience over the last couple of years, or months, I should say, realized that what he truly wanted was there all along with Haru. And I was not bummed out by the ending at all. Technically, I will say the extra edition bonus episodes helped clarify this a little bit.
There's bonuses?
They're like 2 to 5 minute episodes. They're like extra OVAs with what the manga was. It helped a little bit. Honestly, though, I wasn't disappointed. This show made me reflect on many things, from the freedom that being distanced from people provides, the shadows cast from brothers and siblings rivalry and how you can change them. I mean, the struggles with communication before like cell phones, I felt like all those sort of miscommunications were from a realistic point more than like the dumb anime misunderstandings. The biggest problem I had with the show was why the teacher would change her hairstyle right before graduation photos. That's a dick move. That messes with the whole memories. But besides that, the show looked so good. It sounded good. I just vibed with it. And yes, there were lots of problems with it, but that didn't mess with the relationship aspect that I thought it did so well with.
I did not find the ending. God, the ending.
No.
It came out.
It
Came
was
so far out of left field.
Yeah, and it's so unbelievable.
They seem so happy, and he's like, "Actually, I don't really want to be with you." What?
Well,
No!
it's not a story of relationships.
Get
It's about
out of here.
finding yourself.
He
Is
made
it?
That's what I got out of it, at least.
ultimately he made the right choice. Because if it was me, I would have gone Haru in a heartbeat.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because she's
They
young.
need to just
'cause
leave
she's-
that poor girl alone. She is grieving. Give her time and
Yeah,
stop
oh my
pressuring her
God.
into relationships.
Yeah, because Haru is young and cute and was like had enough initiative to actually do something, and should have been and would have been obvious to any breathing human that she was into you when she comes up with like movie tickets. Like boom, there's your first clue. I mean, it's the most obvious thing ever. But instead we're like picking at the emotional corpse of this poor Shinako who's like who's not even capable of being in a fucking relationship right now. She's like literally grieving like a dead loved one. Like leave the poor girl alone. You know,
Yeah.
just Haru is eager and young and into it. Go have fun. Go have fun. Go have fucking fun.
I mean,
F-U-N.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, Ro definitely, I think, did not have the right attitude towards Shinako. I think, like you guys mentioned, going after her, dependency and like thoughts on the brother and using that to try to manipulate her, not a good move. But I didn't think Rikuo did that. I think he was very passive. He was very respectful, and didn't string her along at all. He would just take her home. They would walk. They would talk, and then she'd be like, "You want to go up to my room?" And then she'd be like, "Actually, no, never mind." He'll be like, "Fine, I'll take it easy. I respect this. I want to go slow." And I didn't think that he was, aggressive in any which way. I liked the playful conflict between him and Ro, that tension that developed between them. I didn't think that the love quadrangle, whatever you want to call it, got too awkward or out of hand. I didn't have a problem with most of the characters. I think Ro was the biggest issue, but everyone else I thought was okay.
What about when Rikuo started dating Shinako and purposely didn't tell Haru until she found out by herself? Like, wouldn't he tell her, "Hey, I am in a relationship now"? And then he, of course, acts really surprised when she finds them at his house, and he realizes he fucked up by stringing her along and not saying anything.
I think that was only for like a day. I don't think they were together for very long. I think they started dating very lightly, and then the next time he saw her was when her house got broken into, and he's not like emotionally going to drop that on her at the same time. And he wanted to, and he tried, and that's why he went to the bathroom like, "What am I doing?" Like he knew that he was not making the right choice, and he knew that he needed to tell her. And we see that, and we understand his motivations. It's not like he was malicious in any that sort of thing. He's like, "I need to tell her, I need to break it to her, but now's not the right time." And then, of course, the next day or later that night, it's not very clear on the time, she does find them. So it wasn't like I felt he was stringing her out for weeks and weeks.
I didn't think this anime looked particularly good either. Maybe it was like my TV or something, but there were scenes where like the line art was terrible.
It has a very flat look to it. Like obviously, yes, it's all 2D, it's all flat. But I think it kind of had like a run with the wind look to it. I think it was one of the best looking shows of the season. I think there was so much life and like their hand movements and like brushing the hair away or shifting their weight or like adjusting their clothes all over. Yeah, it's not bombastic. It's not Bones or UFO table fight scenes, but I thought it added a lot of life to the characters.
I thought it looked all right.
Yeah, I mean-
didn't think it was exactly anything fantastic. I thought it looked pretty generic.
Let's see. What came out? What else came out this season? What looks better than this show?
ReZero looks better.
From this season, from spring 2020.
Oh, from spring. Well, I haven't really watched most of them yet, so I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I mean, aside from like amongst all of but whether like this person's a good person or a bad person or whatever, I mean, they could make these characters good or bad and not make the show so damn boring. I mean, nothing happens. Like, this show is the cure to insomnia. Like, if I had been watching this anime like in a dark room before bed, I would never finish it. I would never have finished it because nothing happens. They just stand around and feel sad the whole time. That was it. That was the whole show. And in the end, they don't do anything. No one gets anywhere. And then I don't know. And then the ending, like Mandi said, is just not believable for me. And
it was really frustrating because it seemed like finally Rikuo and Shinako were going to have like a good, strong relationship. It seemed like they were moving in that direction, a healthy relationship. They got through so much together, and then he's like, nope, actually, I didn't even really feel like he had a strong connection with Haru. Like, if there was a scene in there, it was like, oh, I see they have a real chemistry together, and this is why he's interested in her. But I felt like there was no scene in there that made it believable to me that he spent this whole time trying to be with Shinako, and then out of the blue, he's like, oh, nope, actually, I just went with Haru. What?
He had an idea of what love was to him, and he thought that concept, that whatever love is in its nebulous definition, was going to be provided by Shinako. And once he was with her to some degree, I think that's when he realized, and she as well, that whatever their concept of love was not compatible with one another. And that's when they had that like breakup on the bench where they were very mutual about it. He realized what love is. And I think that
what is love?
That that introspection realized that the love that he seeks could be found in Haru, who was always there for him. Hence the return and their thing together. It's not about the relationship. It's about the self-discovery and what one needs to feel fulfilled for oneself. I definitely, saw myself and saw a lot of situations in these characters, and that's why it resonated with me. I can understand Mitz, especially. You see this and you're like, this is, not vibing. I don't see what he's doing. Why is he like this? Why is this happening? I absolutely get that. But for me personally, it hit the right notes, and that's simply why I enjoyed it for the most part.
We should score it because we're not really gonna get any more juice out of this lemon. I don't think. Agreed?
I think that's a fair point.
I'll go first. This show, man, I feel like I'm so negative on this one. Like, I disliked this anime from the first 10 minutes. I was bored immediately. I think I'd be happier with just another music show, even though I find them to mostly be the same. And this show never went anywhere for me, and I don't identify well with the characters, and I just didn't find it. It's certainly not entertaining. I mean, it's very difficult to really appreciate a show that has a very a specific objective in mind. There's like a very obvious like love triangle going on, and there's just like hundreds of anime that do it in a way more fun, in a way that just is way more enjoyable. And the list is just endless. I don't have to go down the list, but you could pull a rabbit out of a hat and boom, there you go. So there's just not much here. I don't really think there's any reason to watch this anime, to be honest. I don't know what the objective would be in watching it. And I guess I'm just gonna score it to my enjoyment level, and I'm gonna give it a 1.5. Why the fuck do you have a crow out of 5?
Yeah, those are the numbers I like to see.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in the same place as Mitz. I felt like it had potential when I first started it, and it was just all the characters are frustrating. The ending felt like a slap in the face. It was just not satisfying at all. I'm not even sure why she had a crow. Like, you can't just carry a crow around with you anywhere.
Why not?
No, you can't just have a pet crow. There are rules or laws against that. Why did she even get a crow?
I don't know.
He was injured. She nursed him back to health.
Oh, was it? I don't remember.
Much like our main character Rikuo, she was there for him. Anyway.
Anyways, I didn't find them believable at all. It was so frustrating. So, yeah, I think it looked all right. It had, I don't even remember the music in it, but I thought the visuals were okay. It was nothing fantastic, but I don't know. I think I'm in the same place as Mitz. I think I give it a 1.5. I was so bored through this whole thing. There was a point where I just gave up. I was like, I hate everybody in this show.
Fair enough. No, I thought the show was not overly melodramatic. I like that there wasn't an OP. I think that gave it more screen time. I always like when that happens. I coasted watching through this. I felt engaged doing so. Overall, it was just well executed, and I got my reflective moments that I come to romance shows for. Haters gonna hate. I enjoyed the show. Maybe despite them, maybe to spite them. I'm gonna give it 3.5. Kensuke the Crow is the best wingman of all time out of 5.
He gave it the same score he gave Vinland Saga.
Oh, easily. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
What did you give it, Mason?
3.5. Mainly just
I
for
respect
the joke.
I respect your
just
opinion.
for the joke that the crow's the wingman. That's never not funny to me. If it wasn't for him, they would never see each other.
Haru deserved better in this. She was so cute.
Absolutely. I don't disagree. Haru was the best.
Yeah.
I feel like that girl could have had anybody she wanted, and she wasn't like she hadn't been all beaten.
I'm not sure why she was so interested in him.
I don't know either. She hadn't been all beaten up yet by the world. You know.
He was so boring. Everyone was so boring in this except for Haru.
Except her, yeah, and he stood her up at that movie, which was such a dick move. Like,
God,
bro,
he was awful.
put a fucking
Once again,
alarm.
not by choice. Not by choice.
What? He fucking fell asleep, bro. Get up and
Mason
go.
will forgive him for literally anything.
Man, like, put a fucking reminder in your
He's
phone
trying
and go.
his best. They don't have phones. They don't have cell phones. That's why they can't communicate. That's why they are running around.
But
it made sense.
He had a cell phone.
No. It was like the 80s. They had like cassette players. That's why like they had problems with some of the communication.
I didn't live in the.
Worked.
I didn't have a social life in the 80s, but I'm sure that there was a way that people managed to not like completely space out on important engagements.
She had a messenger girl.
I mean,
yeah,
she
used that.
Yeah, she should have. She
went
should
over,
have sent a.
He was caring for Shinako, being a good friend, and in his. I'm not saying he's great. Anyway, we've talked about it enough. Clearly, it's not for everyone. Clearly, not for most people. It's probably better watched weekly than moment to moment. I enjoyed it. There you go. All
right. Well, that's that. I think that rounds. Let's see. That's 3 and 2.5 times 3. That's like a 2.17. So it's a 2, I guess. I suppose. I think unless my math is wrong. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it's 2.67.
2.
I don't fucking know.
You guys both
Who
gave
cares?
it 1.5. Total is 6. Divided by 3, it's 2.
All right. So get us out of here, Mandi.
Oh yeah, so we're at the end of the show. So thank you for sticking around, guys. And yeah, we are going to record our hentai episode, go over our reviews. And yeah, please, once again, if you would like to join us, go to aaapodcast.com/join. And if you want to listen to our hentai episode that we are about to record, all you have to do is sign up and you'll get that stuff. And please remember to drop us a review on iTunes. Come join us on Discord. And socials. I am on Twitter as MandyXMandy. And I'm mostly Hunter x Hunter content. So if you want to follow that, come say hi. What are your guys' socials?
You can find me at Twitter at Macy Pacey. If you're like, wow, everything Mason just said is terrible, you can watch me get absolutely RKO'd off a dock. So you can take your anger out in that way.
I'm at Pope Mitsugi. I don't really do much, but I did take a picture of myself doing a weird push-up thing on my sink yesterday because I saw some other guy do it, and I was like, I can do that, and I tried, and I did it, but I don't know why I did it. I don't have any reason.
Do you regret it?
I do.
You should post that VR Beat Saber stuff so we can all chuckle and laugh at you from the Hobby Addicts episode.
There's no way to not look awkward playing that. But it is
Do
fun.
we know what our review is for next week?
I think it's Gleipnir.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Alrighty, thank you so much, guys, and we will see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.